Looks like we already have one predicted Dan character down on Towerland screen. We have three featured runners at the moment. They're up in the top right. We have Zardia. Zardia is in 13th in league with 0.19 chaos points. In the lower right, we have Ali G-Brop. He's tied at 11th with Will Bloodworth at 0.15 chaos points, and Tara is in 29th with 0.55 chaos points. It looks like we are off.
Yeah, an Ice 3 in the first Magic Shop. Plenty of money to buy it as well, so good time to, or a good piece of magic to use against Garland and a Temple of Fiends. We'll see if people decide to head up the Temple of Fiends or just take the early bridge.
Do you have a lot of experience with the early bridge? I go back and forth on it. I'm a big fan of Garland at level 1.
So I'm not a big fan of Garland at level 1. I feel like what makes the decision for me is whether or not I can get a couple extra levels off of the imps outside of Canaria. I like to play it safe, but with this flag set, the low boost means that you have to kill, I believe, 2 or 3 imp packs in order to get a level, and that just isn't gonna get it done in a flag set like this.
Imps feel really, really bad with this particular low boost. We have a divergence already. Zardia is already showing up inside of Provoka, taking on the Pirates right now, and Tara and Ali G have both gone up to the temple, so we'll see what the Pirates have.
Yeah, and I see Tara has 1 charge of Ice 3 left, so if Garland rolled high HP, this could be a little tricky for her to close this fight out.
Both players getting the spider fight as Zardia's Black Mage gets wiped out the first time, but here on the second time, his Ice 3 goes off, so there go the Pirates.
Yeah, and it looks like we have about an average amount of gold in that treasure chest, and then double miss from the spiders on Tara's screen, and the heal helmet as well, which will be useful. I imagine most of our runners will be selling it.
It is quite a useful source of money. Ali G taking on Garland with just 2 characters alive. Tara has 3, and both take him down with Ice 3.
Yeah, Tara getting a roll of 270 on Ice 3, so pretty solid. Definitely don't need more than 1 charge of that if you're going to get that much damage. And Zar's going to check out the White Magic Shop now in Provoka, and decides against it, because he doesn't have anyone that can cast White Magic. But how about level 2 Nuke instead? Does that sound good?
Level 2 Nuke? That is an amazing first 2 levels for the Black Mage. And you never have to waste time going into White Magic Shops this seed.
Probably would be a good idea if there was a fighter in the party in case you found the tail. You could see whether the upgrade would be worth it or not, but in this case, nah. Just keep on going.
Looks like all of our runners might be getting to Matoya's at nearly the exact same time. 3-way high 5 here.
Yeah, Zar being level 2 can take a little bit of extra damage. And not very much useful in Matoya's cave, but given the low gold boost, I think all of our runners are going to have to take that.
I really like going into Marsh Cave with a giant stack of heal potions and a tent for and a house for outside. Looks like Ali G is running into some trouble.
Yeah, the walk to Provoca can be a little bit treacherous. You're running into a lot of new enemies that you've never seen before, and can be a pretty big time penalty if something kills you after you've crossed the bridge and you haven't saved.
Is there any fight that you look for on the way to Provoca? Is there something that you'll take with these flags?
If so, with these flags, I probably wouldn't take any of the fights. Maybe I would, burn down a group of the wolves. Less because I want the experience, and more that I haven't seen what they do, and it's a little bit safer to just try to wipe them out rather than to run and fail.
I like the iguana because the iguana can give me level 2. I run from everything else unless I'm scared, which sometimes I'm scared. Especially if I don't have tents and wiping is rough. I'll just throw out AoEs because I'm afraid.
Yeah, at such a low level, even the wolves, even if they haven't, like, just because of how large the packs are, if they haven't rolled a special ability, but they have rolled high attack power, that's still just as bad.
Getting to level 2 is a huge boost on your life. It like doubles your life on most of your characters, and that's a really big deal. Houses are very expensive at 33.77. But we got pure softs and heals, so those are all nice.
Yeah, and this will be those potions aren't very cheap either. Looks like Tara is going to pick up just the thief, so Danny's going to stay dead for a while.
So some of you viewers may be noticing Tara has some different sprites. She's been diligently getting some female sprites all made up, and she's showcasing them here on this race and one of her previous races. I think they look pretty good.
And now we have Czar picking up the loot. So I think at this point, all three of our featured runners have the loot now. Still no TNT. Tara's going to be the first to check out Dwarf Cave.
And Ali G making a play on the Peninsula of Power with that nuke charge. As Tara finds the TNT.
So early TNT, early nuke means that Crescent Lake leveling is a distinct possibility. The only problem is that the groups in Crescent Lake aren't as good as they usually are. Just because the Cobra Scorpion fight becomes not worth it when you don't have boost enabled. And it looks like the Giants have Rub, which is going to be particularly troublesome. So Allie's going to take a crack at the Zombles, and we'll find out what they have.
Was that poison? Did I see poison?
Yep, so it looked like they had Poison Touch, and they just hit real hard.
Giants are super fast. I just saw one eat 328.
Yeah, so now we have Zomble Trolls, and
there goes the nuke. Let's see what this does.
Well, clears everybody out, so that is a very, very beefy Black Mage.
That feels really nice when your Black Mage is your entire source of offense with Ice 3 and Nuke on levels 1 and 2. Like, having just him survive feels okay.
Yeah, but now Allie has to get all of that experience back, and we'll see if he can do that. Meanwhile, Tara's taking a spin around Elfland, and we'll see what the level 4 Black Magic Shop has.
1 HP. We have a 1 HP.
Don't get ambushed. Rip.
Rip, 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 rip. Did he not have a save point? You can't make this grind if you don't have an after the battle save. Oh no. Oh no. You can't do this.
Yeah, this is, well, we got the 1 HP Thief, but the nuke did not clear out.
Alright, let's check some chests here. Level 4, Fire 3, nothing else notable.
Gold bracelets in, but they're very expensive, so it doesn't look like many people will be picking them up. Probably we'll have to pick them up in Melman on the way, with the sled.
Cheap tents are in Elfland. Silver bracelets are rather affordable as well at 783. I'm always happy to find early silver bracelets.
Yeah, those silver bracelets feel like they can carry you through a good chunk of the mid-game. Always worth picking up.
Just Fire 2 available in the level 3 Black Magic Shop. I'm really surprised Sar hasn't sold his heal helmet with silver bracelets being available.
Yeah, I definitely would have cashed that out. Looked like either Sea Hags or Odd Eyes had Cremate. And I believe I didn't get a chance to see if Tara checked the Black Magic Shop in Melman, but it's very likely that she didn't have enough money to do that anyway.
It's nice to know. It's really nice to know. We have not seen Fast nor Temper in Black Magic Shops, so that's... The ninja will only be so useful. Now, Ice 3 and Nuke on different levels is pretty useful, but you're still looking for some other magic as well.
Yeah, I think the big ticket item, there's Quad X in level 5, and that's pretty useful, but at level 5, it's not going to be available early.
The Quad X is a spell that's really nice to be able to spam in ways that a lot of spells just nothing really replicates what Quad X does.
Yeah, I mean, its single target deals 300 damage as long as you're not using it against an enemy that's death immune, and you kind of have an idea of, you know, the right timing to use it. So we've got loots for everybody, and now everybody has their TNT. So
Tara has set up on some P's, having some trouble burning this one down, and the Black Mage goes down, and she resets out immediately. Did that Pete eat a nuke?
Looked like he ate a nuke, but don't know the damage roll as a result. It could have just been a very low roll on the nuke.
And Zardia right behind and coming up upon Crescent Lake now as well. What are we going to see in level 6 Magic Shops? We have a Lit 3.
So, Lit 3 useful, but again, a lot of the most desirable spells. Still haven't seen Fast, still haven't seen Temper, still haven't seen Warp.
And with a black belt, there's a very good chance that you never get around to class changing.
And just given the way that this party composition looks, I think you would almost have to do two-person strats. As much as, you know, as desirable as the Thief is getting you through the early game, I think now is the time to Dan the Thief as well, and just get whatever you can on the two most important characters.
Yeah, either way. Sometimes I like to get the Thief up to 14 and Dan him, and sort of leave my options open. But in this case, with a black belt with no fasts that's available on my black mage, I'm really looking towards a black belt grind as my sort of go-to strategy this seed.
Yeah, so we see Tara taking the fights outside of Crescent Lake, and I think she's just trying to get the forced feed fights, which are second after Power Cycle. Now, with sort of the magic assortment that we have available right now, where would your next destination be?
I'd buy silver bracelets in Elfland as I sailed to Ordeals, and then I would nuke Zombles. It's going to be a long time, a sizable amount of experience before your thief or your black belt are going to be able to take many of the fights in the volcano. And there's a lot of big fat single target things in there. The black mage goes down and Tara resets. And Ordeals warp is nice, but it's really doesn't save you that much time. You can just reset. Don't get yourself in a soft lock situation. You should have reset before that.
Yeah, I feel like, given that you can do the peds, that Volcano is doable. The only problem being, you usually want a few houses, and none of our runners have been able to afford that.
Only heal potions and cabins are available at Crescent Lake. You can't buy them, you have to go somewhere else.
Yeah, so Ordeals would be pretty good for setting up Volcano. You would get a few extra levels. You can check the viability of a zombie dragon grind. And then upon leaving, hopefully you have better equipment. You'll have better levels for the Volcano. And then you can pick up some houses in Elfland.
I really like leaving the Inner Sea with a stack of heal potions and a house, because I don't like getting to Crescent Lake and having my hand forced because I don't have a house. And getting to Crescent Lake and it not having heal potions just feels terrible.
Yeah, especially on a party that is black belt focused. If you end up in that situation, you have to leave Crescent Lake.
Looks like both Zara and Tara have settled in on a peak grind. Tara just hitting the level 10 milestone. Let's see if she goes up to 12 or 13 or 14. And see where Zardia goes. What's your target level in this situation?
So it varies depending on the amount of magic that I have and sort of what spells. I feel more comfortable going into Volcano at a lower level if I have, we'll say maybe 2 mages that know AoE, strong AoEs. For example, like level 2 Fade with a white mage, red mage setup. I feel pretty comfortable going into Volcano early. But if it's just black mage with weak magic, I will probably look for a few more levels, or maybe even do Ordeals first and then Volcano. And so it's very situational. I think in this instance, the Pede grind is pretty good, but I would try to get the Thief killed off during it.
Yeah.
Something that would be helpful in getting the Thief grind started off would be wooden armor, because it's an 8 evade penalty. and the Peds generally don't care about absorb since they're not hitting multiple times.
I've never thought about that, using the wooden armor to make your character die faster.
Yeah, it was something Tristal and I brought up in one of our earlier matches. I like to pick up the wooden armor on the thief early because it works very well in Marsh Cave, where the like enemies like gargoyles, for instance, are going to be hitting you multiple times, so your thief can stay alive. And then when you're doing the leveling outside of Crescent Lake, the enemies tend to hit you one time for a large amount of damage, which for your 4 absorb off of the wooden armor isn't going to do much for that.
Do you place any value of having a runner and having just an additional health pool in your party going into ordeals in this situation, or volcano?
So for ordeals, I don't think if you're going to do the ordeals play, I don't think you need the runner at all. And my thought is that the zombies are unrunnable, and everything else is so good for experience that you probably just want to take every single fight on the way through. I think the only exception might be the nightmare tile.
Man, that nightmare fight, I've messed with it, and it always feels bad. And if I ever actually take that fight, it feels bad.
Yeah, it's just you need to run into multiples of them. Like 2 of them with Evil Man is pretty good, but just 1 of them never feels like it's worth it.
1P just turned coward on Taralin's screen. I wonder if she moves her Danny into the front slot to convince it to stay. Use a little Danny bait.
Yeah, that's a fun thing that I learned about in the last race that I took. It's something that I need to consider more because I have had issues with enemies running in the past, and just another way to manipulate morale would be very useful.
So to explain what we're talking about, when the game checks to see if an enemy runs away, it does a morale check, and it rolls randomly against the character in the first slot. It doesn't roll against the first live character. You can have a dead level 1 character, and when it makes the check to see if the monster runs away, it will check against the level 1 dead character. So if you move your Dan into the first slot, if it's super low level, the monster probably won't run away, whereas if you put your level 50 black belt there, there's a very high chance the monster's going to run. If you are on Team Stake, that means you can bait the Tyro to stick around. It looks like Tara has hit level 14 and has successfully danned her thief. Do we know what Czar is at?
Looks like Czar just hit level 11, so the effect of having the experience only flow into 2 characters is it's fairly evident here.
And Tara is continuing up on this grind. The black belt goes down against these Peds, so a whole bunch of experience going to the black mage. That's not exactly what you want to see. And Ali G seems to be making a play to continue with progression and omitting some of the grind. He got burned earlier on by the pop grind.
Yep, and it looks like level 15, 16 is good enough for Tara, who's going to leave the area and presumably head to Ordeals, although Ice Cave is also a possibility.
And on Czar's screen, you can see 2 black belts with a similar max screen. You can see 2 black belts with a similar max health. Do you keep 2 black belts alive this seed?
No. I think if you're going to, like, the 2 black belts are viable with a high boost, but in a low boost seed, you just want all of the experience flowing to one of them.
And Czar deciding to depart from the grind as well. Did Ali G pick up Fire 3? Fire 3 is a great spell if you're going to Ordeals. It gives you a lot more stay power. If the zombie dragons are favorable grind, you can kill a number more packs before you have to leave. Sometimes mummies and zombies will eat all of your charges.
Yeah, and I anticipate that'll be what happens for a lot of our runners, is just picking up the good experience off of the large groups. Is they'll burn through all of the charges. That being said, I think Tara's well equipped for Ordeals, having 5 nuke charges and 7 Ice 3 casts. And we have Czar running into the double Sarias. That's a group 6, and these guys are worth only slightly less than an Agama, so it's a good fight to run into.
A nuke quickly dispatches both of them for 1,000 experience across the board. Haven't seen the bottle yet, so it'll be somewhere in the on the northern continent.
And so far, Czar getting a pretty straightforward path through the teleporter maze. And now 4 to choose from. Wrong one. Ali also getting the Saria fight, and quite honestly, if those Sarias rolled low HP, that wouldn't be a bad overworld grind.
No, that's a pretty decent one.
Normally, the single Saria, which I think is a group 8 in some areas, not so good. But the group 5, I think it's a group 6 outside of Ordeals. They show up in packs of 2, and that's pretty solid.
I can't remember the last time I saw a group 6 double Saria fight. It's not common. You don't stay in that area for long, and frequently you're not taking any fights because you're manipulating. Tara did not come into Ordeals with a full stack of heal potions.
So, as far as getting through, I don't think that'll be a problem. The big problem will come into play if the zombie dragons are easily grindable. She does have Fire 2 and Fire 3, though, so even if she can't really heal up her party effectively, she can get some experience before she leaves.
In that situation, she's almost hoping that they're rather difficult so other runners can't grind them.
And of course, the furthest one away, it's the wraparound column that is the correct choice. And a Zeus Gauntlet pickup, so very nice to find that before setting foot in Sea Shrine.
I think I value it more going into the Ice Cave. Sea Shrine, taking out those Wizard Shahags, kind of nice. You have Ice 3, you have Nuke. Zeus Gauntlet gives you a way to set up an escape on your black belt if you want to grind the eye, because those wizards can be scary, the undead packs can be scary, and the Zeus Gauntlet may be an effective enough tool at securing your escape.
Yeah, that's a good point. Always like to see if you're gonna do an eye grind, you always like to see the Zeus Gauntlet or the Thor Hammer. And we have the Mazmune instead, so how about that for a grind?
Get thee to Volcano, perhaps?
Well, let's see about how much damage the Zombie D does, and Zombie D looking pretty nice. Zar's gonna pass that up though.
Feels like the lead has swapped a few times over the course of this run. Everyone's still sort of feeling things out. Zar certainly feels in more of a hurry to make progression.
Yep, and as chat just noticed, Files is forfeit from the race, so hopefully he's doing all right. Nothing terrible came up.
Oh, I should probably get into the IRC.
In the meantime, Zar is leaving ordeals with his ill-gotten gains. Ali is at the Zombie D's, and it looks like he is thinking about doing a grind here.
Was that a non-massa black belt putting the zombie dragon down?
Looks...
Oh, no, he's still in the pillars. That was a group 8.
Oh, wow, okay. So
there's a group 8 somewhere in the first chunk of the encounter table. Did we see a random zombie dragon on one of the other runners?
I don't think we did.
We'll have to keep an eye out to see if he's manipulating the encounter table or letting it run.
And now we're bringing Fuchsia Fantasy into the mix here.
Tara just used her last heal potion and just checked the chest behind the Nightmare. Is about to take a huge amount of damage fighting these mummies. Can't run. Ooh, this may be close. Gets away. Let's see if she can get out of the ordeals alive.
Yeah, clutch run for sure. That's what you bring the thief around for. And Files is back in the race now, so he's just had to take a quick break, get the Rocky music going, and jump right back in this thing. So, Mazmune, Pro Ring, and Zeus Gauntlet. No progression items, no required items, but pretty profitable, I would say, for all the runners heading here first.
Mazmune is a good find. It lets you set up a grind easily, and as we discussed earlier, you're very much looking to set up a grind somewhere this seed. Pro Ring found inside of the Volcano Armory. Did you see what the first few chests had over on Zardia's side?
Not much. I think just like very generic gold amounts and junk equipment. I think that cap came from the chest group. So we have the cap and the cloth, and oh, looks like the Argoyles have paralysis touch. Never want to see anything nasty on an enemy that has lots of hits.
But they also open their spell list with A-Fire, so they aren't too terribly scary, at least initially.
Oh, these hyenas are scary though. They know ice too, and that drops one of the black belts.
Let's see if Tara maxes out her heal potions here. She has a significantly larger stack of cash at the moment.
Yeah, and it's no doubt that she'll be able to pick that up. She'll also be able to pick up a stack of houses as well too. At this point, she should be able to get all the consumables she'll need for the rest of the game.
A fire dies to 186 damage from a nuke charge, so they're not too fat.
So, possible grind spot. Have to see how hard they hit though first before, even if they're only taking 168 in damage. If they rolled 2 hits, you just don't want to mess with them.
It looked like Czar reset out of the volcano, not wanting to walk his loot or experience back.
I think he reset out because he valued having the other black belt alive more. And,
fair enough.
And didn't want any of that equipment that he found. Lots of okay stuff, but none of it really usable by his party immediately.
If there is a party that likely is not going to class change, it's a double black belt party.
And it looks like Fuchsia Fantasy is going to set up for the Zombie D grind. I like the idea, but it's going to be a little bit white knuckle at the start. If you get a double Zombie D and they end up one of them crits, you could be very much in death range.
We also saw what a mummy fight did to Tara. She was worried after failing to run for one round. That's a spooky grind. I like having a caster alive just to dump nuke charges in. Usually on the zombie dragon grind, I empty out my spell charge, get all of the experience I can from that, and then move on to a different grind somewhere else. That's my usual play.
So even if this ends up being an abbreviated grind just because of the running out of heal potions, I think this sets up Fuchsia Fantasy pretty well. Any subsequent grind is going to be a lot more efficient, and they could easily, being at level 21, just go straight for the red dragons instead of fighting the Agamos.
Either one is probably viable with a Mass Immune. Then again, either one can also hit too hard or have crazy skills and abilities. When I don't have magical healing, I like two-man parties the way they feel in the volcano frequently. When you get down to lower volcano, you're taking a ton of damage from trap tiles, which is multiplied by additional characters. Also, the enemy groups you face usually aren't large packs, and you want I like to have single beefy characters that can fight back well enough.
Okay, so we saw why those red gargoyles were giving Files trouble. Turns out they also have poison. And we have another forfeit. Pop Voice is out of the race. Yeah, Argoyles with poison is rough. It's going to make the top floor of the volcano and the middle floor of Ordeal's pretty nasty for a lot of our runners.
I am surprised that all of our runners made it through Ordeals as easily as they did. There's a Argoyle fight on the top of Ordeals, isn't there?
I'm not sure if there's one on the top. Probably.
If Fuchsia Fantasy keeps going and runs into it, that could end her run really quick.
Yeah, they're just not a group that you want to mess with, although the increased magic defense of the 23-24 black belt that's here right now is certainly gonna make them fare better than a low-level party would.
It's nice, but if you get jumped by 4 of them and 2 of them use poison, that's a good chance you're not living even at 400 health.
It's just they have too much other nasty stuff too. The paralysis touch on a monster that has 3 or 4 hits, and we haven't seen what's after a fire either in the spell list. So,
and Fuchsia is committed to this grind. Zardia getting down into lower volcano. Let's see if we can find another quest item. We've searched a number of chests and we have not found a single song item yet.
hey, right on cue, Zar finds the tail.
I doubt that was the item he was looking for. Finds a few shields that are less than useful for his party, though.
Having another source of nuke is always useful, and Ice 3 as well for the water floor. But not having faster temper feels pretty bad.
How valuable do you rank the lowered magic defense gain from the black belt to master?
I think it's very significant, especially because of how many of the non-elemental damage abilities are in Temple of Fiends late game. Even if you go with you find a couple of ribbons and put one on the black belt and one on the mage, it still feels good having those that high magic resist just to stand up to a nuclear or tornado or swirl.
Do you know what else that magic resistance really helps against? Slow.
Yes. Especially, I think slow 2 is non-elemental as well, right?
Correct.
Zar running into an R-Giant. Let's see how beefy they rolled this time around. Tara manages to get away from a group of Argoyles. R-Giant's no problem for Zar. And the Zombie D grind continues.
27. I am very curious how long this zombie dragon grind lasts, and this could pay off in a huge way for Fuchsia Fantasy.
Yeah, it's just a matter of when does Fuchsia decide to cash out. And I think with 11 heal, I think just with you're out of heal potions, just cash out now.
That is a great metric. She's down to 3. She'll take one more hit, use the rest of her heal potions, take one more fight, and then walk away. One of the great things about the Zombie Dragon grind is you control when you leave. There's no run out at all.
Yep, and I feel like now is a good time to leave.
I think now is a great time to leave. 28. There was a lot of things that could have gone wrong with that grind, but it went very right for Fuchsia. This might be a big lead.
Yeah, able to restock on heal potions. So as opposed to the other runners, if they decide to do a grind in Volcano, Fuchsia can be a lot more liberal with the heal potions and keeping two of the party members alive.
And you wonder if we're gonna see a play on ice instead of Volcano with this grinded up black belt.
Also a possibility as well. Although I would prefer to see. I would prefer to do ice if I had access to warp even at level 7, but I don't think. I think given what we've seen so far out of all of the chests in Volcano, ice probably has floater in the vanilla spot.
That would be a serious suspicion, but you never know. There are a number of items that incentive chests can be. We haven't seen very many quest items. Just the tail, the mass immune was in the ordeals incentive slot. There is a wide variety of incentive items that are still on the board.
Yeah, I mean it could always be Ruby into Ruby locked floater in the 4th floor of Earth.
Or worse, a crown locked Ruby into nothing. Have we made it to the bottom of Volcano yet? Do we know what's in the Red Dragon chest? Is it a bust?
We haven't seen that yet. Right now, Tara is doing a 2-person fight against these Agamas here. Almost out of the Ice 3 charges, but still saved all of the nuke charges, which will come in handy if she decides to skip the grind and do a beeline for carry.
It looks like Czar is rolling away from the Red Dragon, so it appears to be a bust looking at his item screen.
Yeah, nothing but the tail as far as the progression items go. With the Masmune in hand and nuke charges, I think this should be a pretty easy carry fight.
Tara does not look to have a mass immune equipped for this fight.
Oh, that's interesting. I wonder if she just reset out of ordeals. I have to look at the menu screen to find out.
You can put the mass immune on either character for a decent improvement. That Agama did not look friendly to grind. She was only doing around 100 a turn, but I think it took 4 or 5 turns for it to go down.
Yeah, he's a little beefy, and she's running, so she thinks it's not worth it. Looks like Carrie knows sleep, and a couple of these guys are taking naps right now on Czar's screen. Follows up with Fire 2, and down goes the Black Mage, and that's gotta feel bad.
That's a bad sign. This is... Are you banning? Are you banning? That's not good.
Oh, we got the Zeus Gauntlet and the Banes coming out. Good enough. High threat, low HP.
And Fuchsia has made her way into the ice cave, so a nice little divergence, and my suspicion is this is going to pay off, but we shall see.
Yeah, with the incentive chest, it's very likely that progression item, floater, or something that leads to floater is hanging out here right now. Another thing to consider with the black belt holding the Mazmune is that the armor bug doesn't trigger if the black belt is equipped with a weapon. So if you have something like
Carry shows
let's say,
poison to Taralan, does a
oh
huge amount
jeez,
of damage, and she's hitting for 3.
jeez, I hope she's got the Zeus gauntlet. Otherwise, this is not gonna work out.
She dodges a sleep and gets a crit, down to 21 health. And then Thunder shows up. That is a dead Tara. I'm sorry.
And that is a brutal skill list as well. Definitely not to be trifled with at low levels.
Is she going back in? Is there anything she's going back in for?
Maybe setting up a grind and might be fighting fires. We know that they have fairly low health. But with Mazmune equipped on the black belt, if you have nice equipment like Opal Bracelet, Gold Bracelet, Pro Ring, and Ribbon, you can keep the benefit of the armor without having it recalculated on you automatically, and that will save you some time from having to go into the armor screen repeatedly.
Gets jumped by some A-fires, and she's stunned. She doesn't get out of that one either.
No, so this has definitely been a brutal volcano for Tara, and we'll see if she just heads straight for the fires. In the meantime, Fuchsia is getting through the mage fight, and we'll see what they were blocking today. Just a pile of money.
Nothing but money thus far in the ice cave, and Zardia is hot on Fuchsia's heels with the volcano cleared.
Yeah, so one orb lit for Zar, and picking up the floater would be pretty big for Zar.
A Cure 4 sighting, and a question, Chad, that I don't know the answer to. What non-boss has Cure 4?
I believe it's the fighter. The palette swapped mage.
Since I was a kid, I've had a theory that the spell set on the fighter was supposed to be the spell set on the mage and vice versa.
Well, it would make sense, and it would also be nice to have that switch just to make vanilla Ice Cave easier.
Vanilla Ice Cave, it feels okay to just dive it because you run into mages and die anyway. And then you get by them and you run into sorcerers and die, and there's nothing you can do. You can level up a bunch of times and you still just die when you fight them.
Yeah, one of the nice things about the Final Fantasy randomizer making vanilla Ice Cave easier.
Yeah, and it is, and sometimes it's still really hard.
So finding 3 gold in that treasure chest, Fuchsia not too happy about that, but hasn't run into wizards on this floor yet, so...
Meanwhile, on Zar's screen, we have wizards that are running, that are cowards. Coward wizard.
Well, Fuchsia's found the floater, so... The question is, what is the eye blocking? We could have 2 of the incentive items just knocked out right here.
Massimo making quick work of the eye. And we have a ribbon. We're still looking for some go mode items, but we're getting very close to everything we need for a giant black belt to carry the seed.
Yeah, you feel very comfortable with one ribbon in a black belt centric party. If you find power gauntlet and defense sword, that makes it feel even better. But now the question is, no fast, no temper. How high do you want to level this black belt?
I want to go to 38. That's just me though. Presuming that I will hit 42 by Kraken 2. That's the goal.
Well, the benefit of going to 28 for Fuchsia is that they can decide to defer the grind for a little bit and go after something that might be even more valuable experience-wise. Maybe fight a bunch of Blue Ds in Mirage Tower, for example.
The run out from the eye is really awkward, but the run out from the Blue Dragon isn't that much better. Fuchsia opts not to grind the eye, however, and she is out with her floater.
Alright, so almost an hour in, the big progression item found, and this is going to save a lot of time going back and forth across the map. Still have to find Crown, still have to find Slab, and Fuchsia has not done Volcano yet, so no access to the tail at the moment.
I normally check Volcano first before Sea Shrine in this situation. I'll go around, I'll collect my free chests, and then, but I like Volcano. It's easy, there's a ton of chests, and it just feels more efficient than Sea Shrine.
Yeah, I agree with you there, and just the amount of unrunnables you end up bumping into in Sea Shrine is pretty awful. Yeah, what I was curious about is whether or not Fuchsia would do Volcano first and then check the free chests, Cardia Islands, Titan's Tunnel, or just head straight for the easy chest to get. And it looks like neither. A shopping trip first.
Going to the shops in Corneria. Now, Fuchsia got through the ice cave with relatively little difficulty. I don't think any of her backline departed, but it was difficult to tell. I wasn't paying close enough attention to know if it was due to her fat black belt but it looks like Czar has gotten through the ice cave without too much trouble as well. And the floater right in one of the final 3 chests before the drop. Yeah, Czar still has most of his heal potions. This ice cave was very much not fierce.
Yeah, both of them seem to have fairly good luck with the encounters as well. Czar, I think, ran into a few more wizards, but I don't remember either of them hitting Frost Wolves, Frost Giants, which, depending on how much HP the Frost Giant rolls, that can take a while.
We've got some people in chat extolling the merits of checking on stake at this point in time. And a warp sighting at level 7.
So that'll be useful when you cash in the tail and pick that up, especially for saving time walking out of the waterfall cave. But for now, that is not an option available to Fuchsia.
Also, the pirate did not walk very far to sell his fairy in a bottle, and Fuchsia finds it in Gaia.
Level 8 Temper. I think you can write that one off pretty safely. And how about some ZARNG on the way out? Turns out that our bones have lit 3.
And his thief gets away. What is this?
Well, that's the most important one to live, but he's not going to be doing very much against a group of wizards, which is why that Zeus Gauntlet moved up there.
He put his ribbon on his thief. Wow, this is some interesting play. I'm not even gonna call it bad. Like, you need your thief to escape, so you put your ribbon on it.
And of course, there's the wizards. And of course, oh, they're running away.
Zar better not use up all of his good luck. He doesn't have much.
And he realizes that, and he's gonna heal up before taking 2 steps to the stairs. Yeah, barely makes it out.
It's better than wiping there. It's always better than wiping there.
Yeah. Now we have Tara electing to do a fire grind, and this is gonna be very, very slow in comparison to the other grind targets. I think if you're gonna do a fire grind, the best place to do that is on the treasure chest that is close to the south wall of the room. That way you don't advance the step counter.
And it's also really close to the exit.
Yeah, so just with all of the lava tiles, you don't have to take very many steps to make it on the way out. The other consideration with this grind is that with the low boost, anybody else that is fighting, like, say, the Agamas or the zombie dragons is going to be, or the Eye is going to be pretty far ahead of you.
Sometimes I use this fight as a constructive fight into another grind elsewhere, like maybe going all the way to 21 to get that extra pair of hits, but I avoid using this fight as my sort of final grind target.
Yeah, and this seems to be the best use of this fight, or the Grey Worm fight, is to use it as a step ladder to 21. That will get you to be able to kill either the Agamas or the Red Ds reliably.
But we see that she has put the Massmune on her black belt, and the black belt is doing considerably better this time than she was in the basement against the Agama and so.
Yeah, and I think right now she could probably do well versus an Agama, but looks like I'm gonna keep the fire train rolling. And now it's Zar's turn to zip around the overworld, so we'll see where he heads. Looks like he's going to pick up the rod and go pay a visit to the Titan.
This is the classic. If I can be on autopilot and I go straight for the rod, I've seen runners on various, like, other round flags that know they never need to collect the rod to collect the dot done, and they will still come here out of habit and instinct.
Yeah, it's a very, very common route. The only other one that I've seen is Jake Coper will head straight to Gaia, but I think that's only if he has Bottle early, and then route the Titans chests in later.
I'm thinking very hard about my routing, and usually it has to do with shops if I don't come this way. I need to cash in a tail before I end up at Melmond to buy a magic when I'm going to turn my, like, a big convoluted string involving the tail and shop will cause me to take another route.
I think the only other consideration is if you also have access to the crown chests, in which case you might want to do things in a slightly different order. But a lot of times after getting the floater, checking these chests in the Dragon's Hoard are very nice, just because at that point, like say you've cleared Ice and Volcano, you've opened less than half of the chests, and very likely you're still looking for 1 or 2 pieces of equipment.
And these runners are both looking for equipment, but they're also looking for key items. Both the crown and the slab are still at large, and we do have the possibility of a slab locked in a C-shaped room in C. The dream.
And Fuchsia finds the tail, and finding the tail after checking out Gaia is very nice. Fuchsia now has the knowledge that Warp will be learnable after the promotion, and it's going to be worth promoting the black mage to a black wizard just to avoid walking out of the waterfall cave.
And she's kept a thief. I don't know what level the thief is at the moment, but she could class change right away. You don't lose very much magic defense with her black belt already being at 28. This could be a good time for her to class change. That would be my play.
Yeah, and I agree with that. Just do the class change, pick up Warp, hope that Fast is sitting in Onrak as well, and then you'll be pretty set.
I am on this low boost seed. I am rather militant about never taking my thief past 14 unless I don't care at all about the spell she has. With this seed having both Ice 3 and Nuke available at levels 1 and 2, I'd be very much wanting to not trigger the level 15 on my thief.
And I think that's a good rule of thumb, regardless of the boost situation. The thief is going to be doing, just as well in their role of using items that cast spells and running away from fights, regardless of whether they're, level 10 or level 14, or even level 20. So the only thing getting extra levels on the thief can benefit you is if there are good spells and you can get some more spell charges by leveling up. A lot of times the tail just doesn't show up in the route, so it's very difficult to plan for.
Just, if you're level 14, you have to go to 19 to get 3 charges and 21 to get 4. If you're level 15, you need to go a lot further for your similar tiers, and going from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 on all your spells for your ninja, it feels really good. And on these low percent boosts, sometimes that sort of awkward EXP manipulation in the mid game really pays off in the end game.
Now Zar finds the pro rings and finds Warp, so they will be pretty well set.
Pro rings money is not necessarily an object. Pro rings are cheap this seed, $5 grand.
Yeah, it's not often that you see pro rings, only slightly more expensive than houses, but here we are. And it looks like Tara picked up a bunch of potions and is gonna go get revenge on the volcano. Going in punching.
This is odd. She knows there's nothing down here that she needs right away.
Still needs to be completed though, and maybe she just wants to finish that grind having the tail, so that she can do the class change.
Go and do Agamas, perhaps? She's hitting much harder. She might be able to one-round him.
Yeah, I mean, I think she is at level 29 now, and if the plan is to go to 42, Gammas are good. Red Dragon is also good. Alright, Czar turns in the bottle, now has the Oxyel. And where will he be headed next?
Checks the Black Magic Shop to pick up Quad X at level 5. A Pro Cape found on Future Fantasy. That's always nice for your Black Mage, and also your Thief can wear a Pro Cape.
And it looks like Czar has just enough money for one max cost gold bracelet. That'll definitely see some use and probably get handed down over the course of the match. Or he's just gonna fundraise right now. Decides not to sell the Bane sword, and just isn't gonna have enough money to do it.
He has equipped that heal helmet that he has saved for the entire game, that he has gotten. He got a decent amount of use out of it in Volcano.
So yeah, that being the only source of heal, I mean, not a bad idea to keep it, but I still think selling it just to make your early game faster was the right move.
You could buy a house. Having a house would have been very nice at a number of places.
Just as in real life, real estate is an investment.
And you know what else is all over the place? Silver helmets. I find so many silver helmets. There's what, 3 of them?
Yeah, there's just a ton of silver gear lying all the way around, and it's never the silver bracelet, which you're happy to see. Looks like we had another forfeit. First Z also quit. Didn't leave a comment, so not sure what happened on their stream.
Chat pointing out Czar keeps dreaming about the white magic shops.
And we have Fuchsia making a grave mistake here. They are fighting our friends.
Firing up the grill.
Believe that's a mistake. That being said, though, Overworld Grind is pretty safe, and the monsters in this area hit very hard on unarmored targets, so getting the solo black belt set up is not going to take very long. And it looks like those dinosaurs had a cold, though. You could see them snorting.
Is that your preferred cause of the sniffles? over on Tara's screen, she is down in the Agamas, grinding up. I just saw her hit level 30, so she's we'll see how high she goes.
So, chat remarking that the Tyro booked it. So your discussion of using Tyro bait, may come into play here.
You gotta move that Dan into slot 1. We have two. I did not catch this. We have two Dannies on the field. I am pleased. I am pleased with the feminine Dans.
And looks like Tara's gonna do the Agama grind. And they're cutting it pretty close with the HP there. I feel like they are in ambush crit range. And it looks like they agree, and they're going to do a heal up right now.
We'll see what the Red Sahag, Wizard Sahag fights have. Oh, the T-Rex has been sighted. This is a fat stack experience right here.
So, it's like you said, keep an eye out for where that Group 8 falls, and this may be a very, very quick ticket to 42 if Fuchsia decides to try to manipulate this.
I don't necessarily think it's forcible, but you might be able to run it through 10 or 20 fights and find one, and that might be a decent grind.
Yeah, I mean the other monsters in the group, they're not terrible. You could just reset the Ankylo fights and take the Tyro fights along the way, and not lose very much time doing that.
We're really seeing a number of different priorities on the screen here. Zardia has a double black belt. He has a 4-man party with a double black belt, and really clearing dungeons, getting chests, collecting items, and exploring. We have Tara, who has taken a couple of nasty falls. One to carry. Did she die another time? I know that the carry was nasty, but she's go
ahead. She got roughed up by the Argoyles trying to set up another grind, and then her third setup on the fire grind was successful.
So she'll have the largest black belt soon, but no floater, still needs to go to Ice Cave, which I assume is where she goes next. And then on the lower right, we have a 3-man grind in the desert.
Yeah, and the our Anklyos are usually good at knocking off members of your party, except when they attack using a spell list, and that spell list starts with lit. There's the T-Rex!
There it is! What do you suppose it is? Fight 10? Fight 8? Somewhere in there?
Yeah, it looks like... yeah. I'll have to count how many power cycles they go through, but it seems like this might be a good strategy. I would like it a little bit better if this was a solo grind, but or even a duo grind. But we'll see if this pays off for Fuchsia. They will definitely have some survivability going into Temple of Fiends.
We also get to contrast the unupgraded classes of the female sprites with the upgraded. If while you're watching these fights, compare Tara's to Fuchsia's screen. Fuchsia has class changed, Tara has not, and look at what you're seeing. I suppose it's a little bit more difficult because there's a whole bunch of dirt naps.
And Zar? How about some more ZaRNG? Turns out that the Gray Sharks know Thunder.
Thunder Shark. It's too bad that we can't get Tornado Sharks. Now that would be a sight to see.
Final Fantasy Randomizer, sponsored by Sci-Fi. Yeah, I always found it interesting that the Arankleos hit like, they hit like a city bus, but they just are not worth anything experience-wise.
I haven't been paying too close of attention to what's been happening on Zar's screen. He's going to lower Sea Shrine now. Did he wipe?
He wiped a couple of different times. Actually, one wipe and one reset. The Gersharks with Thunder took out the Mage, so that was a reset, and then immediately did another reset after, I believe it was running into the Wizsahag Arsahag fight.
Elects not to take one of the cheap chests. Must have made it here. Have we seen lobsters yet?
Well, there's some lobsters right now, and we've also seen the crown. So, nice find on the way down to Kraken. And Zeus Gauntlet and Bane Sword are going to get some work done here.
We'll see what Kraken has. Kraken could easily roll pretty fierce for Zardia.
Yeah, always somebody to worry about, but with Zar electing to keep the full group alive, having access to those meat shield groups is going to be pretty nice.
Let's see if you can dodge a Thunder Shark. It's got a lot of HP on it.
It also has mute. So we'll see if this third hit here is going to do it. And it doesn't. So a lot of the runners love this fight just because the big guy is an EXP pinata, but it may be worth skipping. Actually, for the groups that have a solo leveled black belt, or even a 32, maybe 232 black belts, this would be that would be an easy fight to take. Find a power
bonk sighting.
So yeah, really good items so far on the way through here, but that's to be expected. Haven't been really impressed. The incentive item chests had good items, but not much else.
We get to see what the waters have. And they have between 100 and change and 350 HP.
So that'll be good to get through these mobs quicker. A black shirt is going to help finish off the rest that don't get killed by an Ice 3, and a ninja with Ice 3 is also going to be able to contribute on the Water Floor and Temple of Fiends. And it looks like we had another forfeit. Show and Suns Out, Guns Out both have decided to hang it up. And it looks like the waterfall is a prospector's dream, having nothing but gold.
Zarya gets away from a double Gershark. Runs into an unrunnable, however. Let's see what these ghosts have.
Yeah, it looks like Suns Out, Guns Out had a blue screen of death. Hopefully they can get that straightened out. But it's never good to get into a race and find out that your equipment isn't working. So, it looks like Dark and Saber in the level 7 shop, so we have level 8 fast, and that feels awful.
Yeah, Suns Out, Guns Out. I saw him running some races before the holiday time, and then he wasn't around very much. He showed some good skill in an amazingly short period of time, and I was sort of excited to see what kind of times he was going to put up.
Yeah, he picked up the fundamentals of the game pretty quickly. And seem to be willing to put in the work to improve. So it feels bad when you're willing to put in the work, but your tools are just not going to cooperate with you. Zar finds the Opal bracelet on the way down to Kraken, and that's going to be a pretty nice piece of gear to throw on the very brittle Black Mage.
Looks like Zar might be walking out. Wow, this is a play.
Yeah, if he doesn't have the confidence of taking out Kraken, maybe this is the way to go.
This play, I feel like a sizable part of this play is due to having 2 level 17 black belts. And if you 3-man this party, there's a good chance you have a 21 black belt, which it's only a 21 black belt, but it feels better than 2 17s.
It's not only just a 21 black belt, it's a 21 black belt with access to Saber as well, and that's doable, I think. You may have to get a little bit of turn order luck, but it seems doable. Second ribbon found.
Did Zar pick up XXXX, or is that another runner?
Zar picked up Quad X, I believe.
I'd be tempted to make a game-losing play to Kraken at this moment.
And here we have Tara going after Carrie, and level 42 or 41 black belt just says goodbye.
Gets revenge. Well done, Tara.
So with the level 42, Tara is going to have the safest trip out of all of the runners going through Temple of Fiends. The nice thing about the 42 black belt is the ability to close out fights very quickly, and there will be some of the bosses are just bad things will happen if they get more than a couple of turns. I'm looking at you, Kraken, too.
It is 42 black belts are very stable, and they make things very straightforward that a lot of parties just don't have a straightforward way to deal with.
Yeah, also the playing it safe may pay off more than it would in other seeds, simply because of the lack of support magic. I mean, we've seen level 7 Temper, and that's really about it. No access to any of the life spells. So mistakes are going to be penalized even harsher, and having a 42 black belt allows you to get away with a lot more things than you normally could.
And with this party, there's a good chance that none of the backline makes it to Chaos.
Yeah, I mean, it's very difficult to get a black mage to survive a nuke.
Ninjas are not much better. Looks like mud gulls are not squishy. They're eating some damage. The nuke's gonna put them all down here, but I like to see mud gulls with less than 200 health, because then a double damage nuke always takes them down. That group 8 shows up again, and Zara gets a gas dragon.
So not too bad to find only one of them. When you run into 4 of them, that's not significantly less fun.
I really like seeing the gas dragon in Waterfall, because that lets me know what gas dragons have in Topher.
Yeah, it's always nice to be able to get a preview of sort of the nastier groups that you're going to run into. You may not like seeing the Frost Wolf Frost Giant fight in ice, but when you find out that Frost Wolves have Blizzard, then you know what to do when you get to Topher.
So Zarya coming here to the waterfall. Do you think he's gonna go turn in his crown here in a moment after this is over? He's taking another mud goal fight. Let's see if he one rounds it.
Yeah, I think doing the crown chests after Waterfall is probably a good idea. It's because you have to come here anyway, and you're going to be right next to those 6 chests. And those 6 chests could contain the slab, and then you won't have to check the crown chests at all.
I think Zar specifically is still looking for a white shirt. I think it would help his party more than it would help most of the other groups.
Either white shirt or defense sword, I think, would be very, very welcome at this point. So, still 11 people in this race.
Only 2 that with previous wins, just Mono and Len the Cat. The rest are fighting for that victory.
Yeah, so early race means that a lot less people can play defense, so no fun police from a lot of the previous winners today.
Running races after you've won, on the one hand, it feels fun to attempt to play a really, really solid, stable race and go that route. The other thing that's fun to do is gamble harder than anyone else, because it doesn't matter. Speaking of round 1 races, this is the next to the last stage 1 match. The final match will be on Sunday, January 14th at 1 p.m. And I believe you will be commentating that one as well.
Yep, got a pretty busy schedule going, and then I'm looking forward to the switch to stage 2, when it is the 4 white mage party with the goal of killing Lich.
And we have 14 stage 2 matches. The first one's going to be at midnight Eastern on Monday, January 15th. It has a 12:01 start time, just like the the New Year's Day match. The other thing in Final Fantasy Randomizer, the other notable race in Final Fantasy Randomizer is the grand finals of the Final Fantasy Randomizer tournament. That's on Tuesday. When is that, Edgeworth? What time exactly?
Let me look that up real quick, but I believe it's on the 16th, and I can get you a more specific time. Yep, January 16th at 7 Eastern, and it will be myself and Artea on the mic, so pretty good commentary team, very good racing team. Make sure you tune in for that.
I'm excited to watch some of the best runners close out the Final Fantasy Randomizer tournament. The tournament is what got me into this game, and it very much helped being able to watch and observe the tournament, observe some commentators, observe the way runners do things. It helps to see how the runners do things, because then it's easier for you to sort of ease into it. There's a lot to learn when learning a randomizer.
And one of the more interesting things is that this is a randomizer with a meta that is definitely evolving. For the tournament, we saw a lot of the black belt, but we've seen a lot more people start to take on the two-person party approach with a lot of success. And I think with a lot of people, such as Split Punched and Artea and Bratster, coming in and showing a willingness to experiment with new strategies, it's shook up the meta a bit and made things a lot more interesting. So if you're interested in the Final Fantasy Randomizer at all, now is a good time to get in. Please join the Discord, and feel free to post something in the new players section. We love to help people on their way to learning this randomizer.
I know, going from tournament style seeds to this low boost seed, a lot of runners have had significant growing pains. I frequently refer to this round one flag as very hard and possibly the hardest flags of the tournament. So once you get over the round one learning curve, then we get into some a little bit more relaxed and sort of fun style seeds. All of it's very different from the meta of the tournament, and part of that's due to the fact that we have larger races. It's different racing one-on-one. It really is. You can expect runners. You can expect a lot of people to do a lot of different things, and it's no longer just, what do I think a single opponent will do?
Yeah, you can be quite certain that in a race of 15 or 16 people that people will take risks, and you may you may have made it far in the tournament playing it safe, but people that are taking risks in a 16-person race are probably going to be rewarded for that.
The other thing that happens, and you have no way of predicting exactly how this plays out, but sometimes you wipe where other people don't, and other people wipe to things you never see, and it changes the way they route everything, because they don't roll into zones with the same loadout, toolkit, money, resources, and they make different good decisions based on a different set of supplies at the time, and that just sort of sends the seed. They find an item that you don't for a long time, and that sends the seed in wildly diverging paths.
Yep. So now we'll get our first look at the key lock treasures. Find a pro cape, find a bunch of houses, and Czar just don't need that pro cape.
With the ninja having access to shields, the pro cape is not nearly as useful. Lots of real estate inside of Corneria Castle, though.
So, time to check 3 chests in Temple of Fiends. These are on the right side and locked by the Mystic Key. Fuchsia is going to cash in the crown, and oh, there's the silver bracelet. A little late for that.
Zarya has no armor equipped on his black belts.
Hey, we have a ruby. We no longer have a ruby because he reset.
We cannot feed the Titan today. I'm sorry, Titan. You will have to go hungry.
That's alright. He fed him last round, so it's only fair. And, looks like Zar might be heading back to pick up some more gold bracelets.
Fuchsia also making the check on Crown Crest. Did Fuchsia kill Kraken? That would be my intuition.
Yeah, Fuchsia has 2 orbs lit. And we have Vorpal's sword in the dwarf treasury, so that means Zar has his favorite weapon ready to go.
So, how does Vorpal stack up against the katana on Topher bosses?
So I think the katana is a little bit better, but I don't remember specifically off the top of my head. They both have very high crit rates, and the point of having the very high crit rates is they are more effective against bosses that have rolled very high physical stats. So
I know the Vorpal beats the Excalibur, and the Massmune always feels nicer.
So the break-even point with respect to the Vorpal and the Massmune is about 144 absorb, at least from some tests that I've done previously. Anything higher than 144 absorb, and you're better off using Massmune. Anything less, and anything higher, Vorpal is better. Anything less, and you would rather use the Massmune.
Chaos base absorb is 100, correct?
Yeah.
So you need to be rolling 2.5 seeds or something, because there's a step down on absorb. It doesn't get the full percentage scale.
Yeah, but Artea raises a good point. I should plug in the numbers because I wrote a small program to do some tests. I should plug in the numbers for Katana and see kind of where the break-even point is on that. But the extra damage, like the extra 9 damage, is not trivial at all. Yeah, so thanks for dropping the stats in chat. That is, yeah, that's a lot more than I thought off the top of my head.
I tell you what, round 1 has taught me some, but not all of. A lot of different stats on the lower tier weapons. A lot of times you're running around comparing sabers to scimitars to silver daggers to iron rods, trying to figure out what do I actually use in this case.
Yeah, especially because it is very, very easy to find yourself in a party with no access to magic in round 1 seeds.
So during the tournament, there was a lot of strife about black belts being sort of no-brainers for a lot of party compositions, and black belts ended up getting a lot of hate. I sort of have had multiple feelings about that. I don't mind the black belts under 4 forced party member situations, and I'm less concerned about black belts versus fighters than I used to be, as long as things are 4 forced. I'm really happy with all of these round 1 flags having 4 forced party members.
Yeah, it requires you to think of some interesting ways to get through areas that normally would be trivial in other circumstances, like getting through Marsh Cave with 2 mages that have AoEs, like a white mage that knows Harm 4 and a black mage that knows Nuke. It's pretty easy to do that. But if you don't have any access to magic, you have to think of some creative things in order to do that. Maybe you're just going to skip the wizard chest altogether because you don't have a Zeus Gauntlet or a Thor Hammer.
So, we are passing the 1 hour and 45-minute mark. I believe none of the featured runners that I've been watching has more than two orbs lit. I haven't been paying attention to anyone other than what you're seeing on the screen. We've had 2 of these round races have been finished at the 146 mark.
So with the low boost, it's not a surprise that these round 1 races are taking a little longer.
We know that the slab is either in Ursh or Marsh. We've checked all of the other places. Do you have an idea of where it might be?
So by the looks of things, Quicklet found it, but was also checking chests in Earth, so I believe he found Slab. He may have done an early Marsh play, found Slab, and then has not found Crown yet. Of course, he is still sailing around on the ship, so he may have not found Floater yet either.
So that means it's probably not Ruby locked or Rod locked.
No, not likely. Minochi is also in Mirage Tower right now.
Fuchsia is looking to clear out floor 2. And Zardi is back in Sea Shrine, clearing out Mermaid side. It feels like Zar has spent a lot of time in sea.
Yeah, took a couple of wipes and then elected to leave after finding the crown. Made a gamble and it didn't pay off. And he'll find a second ribbon after clearing out all of these chests, but really doesn't feel worth it in comparison to the time invested.
Tara goes and collects some magic for her newly promoted ninja. I wonder how much time an early Marsh Cave play saves you. Finding the slab is nice, it gets you to go mode faster, and it can save a lot of time. But finding the slab does not get you to the crown or the floater faster.
It will only save you time if you don't do Sky before C in this instance. And it looks like the way Minochi is opening treasure chests that he has not found the crown yet. And yeah, just looking at his item list, he's doing Sky first and is not going to be very happy with the results. He has, however, found the defense sword, so he's well equipped for a 42 black belt tour through Temple of Fiends.
Clearing out Sky is time consuming, but it never feels too bad because the fights are just so efficient.
Yeah, if you definitely need experience, Sky early pays off just by the way that you can sort of improve your party on two different aspects, one being levels and two being exploration.
It feels much better when you have two sources of nuke or fade or equivalent, though. Once you get to Sky, one just doesn't bring down parties, and then you've got... But it'll bring down half of enemy formations.
And we found the third ribbon. It is in the middle floor, or the second floor of the Sky Castle in the Star area. Minochi right now is running with a solo black belt, and this could get a little dicey going through this area. He also does not have very much in the way of healing. So this is a very risky play from Minochi. Hopefully it pays off, but there are a lot of enemies that could give him, enemy groups that could give him some trouble as a solo black belt. In the meantime, you see Zar is heading for Earth and checking out Earth when you still need a progression item makes sense. Probably not going to find anything, but clearing out all of the chests in areas which are required is usually not a bad idea.
Nothing says I hate this game like a crown on Earth Floor 4.
Floater in the vanilla ruby chest.
Oh, jeez. It pretty much guarantees that I've cleared everything else in the game, because I am more likely than most to make an Earth Cave play, and once I check Earth and sometimes Earth Floor 2, I don't come back to Earth for a long, long time.
Yeah, so given the fact that we haven't found the slab yet, my guess is that it is in Marsh Cave.
And these Earths have more than 400 HP.
And that's going to make them pretty annoying to deal with on the Earth floor.
White Shirt has been located on Earth 4, however. That is a welcome find to any party.
Yeah, especially one without access to Invis 2 as a spell. And so far, that is the only source of evasion that our runners have currently found. We know that Minochi found the defense sword somewhere. Likely in Mirage Tower, but not sure that any of our other runners, once they find Slab in Enter Go mode, will be checking any chests in Sky.
So we can finally certify Slab is in Marsh Cave. Upper or lower? I'll take I'll take Upper Marsh Cave.
I'll say it's in one of the crown chests. We'll have a key lock slab.
Key lock slab. Have we seen Death Touch yet this seed, or Stone Touch?
I've seen some people get petrified, but I don't know what enemy had it. Have not seen Death Touch yet.
We see Glare on Sea Snakes, which is never something you want to see in these seeds.
Actually, Midris in chat raises a good point. The two runners that have found the slab clearly don't have the crown, so it's either top side or bottom side. So, maybe the wizard stole the slab. Crown is in the two chests, bottom right floor on the way to Kraken. Or in the bottom right room on the floor before Kraken. And Fuchsia's going to be checking Marsh, and we'll see if they find Slab on the way up here.
Where was the opal bracelet?
Ooh, that's a good question. Opal bracelet.
It was on the way to a grind because we said it would be useful. Was that in Lower Volcano?
Maybe. Or, it'd be
Ice?
it would either be Lower Volcano or Deals on the way to the Zombie Dragons.
Shark Room and C?
Oh, okay.
That could be it. We could have been thinking about Kraken when we found the opal bracelet.
Oh, right. Yes, it was the upper right room on the way to Kraken. The looks like the Bones know lit 3 as well, so all of the skeletons well versed in lightning magic this seed.
Fuchsia not finding the item she was looking for, and Upper Marsh goes deeper.
Meanwhile, Zar is having absolutely miserable encounter luck. Every time he runs into one of those 9-packs or 8-packs, it seems like they all go first, and then him.
And he's got the thief in front. That's when I'm yelling at my thief on stream for not doing his job properly.
You had one job. Runs into pack of hyenas and gets out, which is nice because those jerks know ice too.
So a side effect of what we were talking about earlier, where the morale check is based off the first party member, so is the ambush check. So if you have a dead level 10 thief and you are in Temple of Fiends Revisited, where nothing is going to run from you, you might want to consider putting your Dan in the front slot.
There it is. A slab in Marsh.
And Fuchsia is not bothering with any more chests. Ladies and gentlemen, we have...
Yeah, that's a go mode at 2 hours, almost 2 hours. So some very, very treacherous item placement here, and important to note that none of the runners are in Temple of Fiends yet. So This has been quite the drawn-out seed, both based on experience boost and item placement. And the longer the seed goes, the better it is for anybody that did the 42 black belt grind. So we'll see if getting those extra levels is going to pay off.
I believe Fuchsia has everything she needs. Sometimes you might check the first floor. I think in this case, you just go. First floor of Mirage, that is.
Unless you're looking for another ribbon or maybe some something else.
Defense sword is still out at large for her.
Yeah, defense sword would be a very nice pickup, but I think
with the white shirt, I'm not prioritizing it.
Yeah, I think you just have to go for it. And they're gonna check. They're gonna pick up their level 8 fast.
I think she might have a couple spell charges of that. Did not quite catch it there. Zardi has entered into Upper Marsh. Not too far behind, maybe 2 or 3 minutes behind Fuchsia.
Yeah, but Fuchsia has the advantage of a black belt with concentrated levels. That is not the case for Zara's party.
She has also revived her Danny, presumably to face tank some shots in Topher.
Also good as a shirt rack as well. Not a bad person to be just slinging the white shirt around.
I wonder if they'll run into any heal potion problems in this with this particular party. There's no magical healing. Holding on to that heal helmet may have been helpful. Zardia finds his slab, immediately decides to exit as well.
Heal helmet would be good, or heal staff. The biggest concern is just whether or not the enemies in Topher are going to have AoE spells, because nothing chews up magic or healing like a 6-pack that everybody knows Blizzard.
Tara is making her way to punch Kraken in the face. I assume it will be a very one-sided fight.
So we've got Minochi fighting Tiamat right now, and he's going with the 2-person black belt strategy. So wishing luck and success to him on this fight. Could be very, very scary. But as far as the other runners right now, still nobody in Temple of Fiends yet.
Fuchsia skips the first floor of Mirage. Not a surprise there. Runs away from some monies. He's going to go directly for Tiamat too. I haven't quite seen if she has enough levels on her Black Mage to have any spell charges. She decides to nuke a Twilight Cosplay Club, though. They all go down to a single cast.
Good experience out of that group. Oh, the Wyvern Worms. I think that's the Group 8. No, that's the Group 7 on this floor. There's the group 8, but I think that was off of the encounter tile.
Punches a Gurnaga. Collects experience.
Yeah, all of these, all the monsters, the eyes, the Gurnagas, very good for picking up a few extra levels here. Even nicer when you're doing a two-person grind. Or a two-person party strategy, excuse me.
How do you feel about poking at heirs? I go back and forth as, is it worth to poke? Because so many times they roll crazy evade, and I waste a turn finding out that I can't kill heirs.
So they're useful if they're with something that your physical attacker can hit. So like Gurnaga Air is probably worth it. Punching one air is probably not worth it. It's just a matter of efficiency. If you can take out the group in one round, and it's in Sky Castle, more often than not, it's worth taking.
It looks like we've got some bless RNGs in chat. Get your bless RNGs out, chat. If you want to see Warmech, there's only one way to summon him. We have seen a couple of Group 7s in this game. So we know there's one here. But it looks like we're getting straight to Tiamat.
Yeah, the hero run all the way to the end there, and no fast charges yet, but hey, Nuke's pretty good too.
Fuchsia dumps enough nuke charges into Tiamat to take her down without too much difficulty.
And there we go. So I believe that's the last orb lit for Fuchsia.
I believe we may have our first runner into Temple of Fiends in just a moment, folks. Stop off at the shop to collect some heal potions, because you do not want to be short on heal potions with this party composition, and then we will be there soon.
Nope, no heal potions. Time to go to Elfland.
Stop off in the next town over looking for some heal potions, and then we will be in Temple of Fiends Revisited soon.
Heal potions, this holiday's must-have gift. The Tickle Me Elmo of Final Fantasy Randomizer. Tara's gonna find her next ribbon, and Zar is gonna find a whole lot of nothing.
Zar checking Mirage chests, looking for that defense, finds the defense.
Yeah, so that's a nice pickup too, but Zar is more committed to a group strategy of keeping everybody alive.
Getting the defense off on a slot 1 character can be a pretty decent percentage play sometimes.
Yeah, I think so. Especially if you have a character that isn't going to be doing much of else. It all depends on whether the thief's idea or responsibility is to be an evade tank or a shirt rack. And into Temple of Fiends we go. And there's gas dragons.
With
And gas dragons
poisons.
that know poison. Is this
Vanilla
even...
gas dragons.
Yeah, and fuchsia resets. I wisely so, I believe. That's not a fight that you want to really take, and it's unrunnable as well. So,
And we get a look at another Temple of Fiends unrunnable, the Worms. Let's see what they have today.
Worm's not too bad, except these guys have paralysis touch, so this is going to be pretty fun. Fortunately, they have, the usual amount of weak physical absorb, so... Looks like we've pulled Minochi in. Minochi, full cleared sky, still looking for crown. Has slab, though. And is currently ripping through Earth Cave right now.
Double black belts. I like this. I like this. This is a fun strat. Do you think he'd be doing this if he didn't have a win under his belt?
I think Minochi's the kind of person that is willing to experiment, regardless. There have been... he's very much a gambler, and he's willing to try out new things during races. The double 32 black belt, from talking with Kaba, was actually very popular in the early days of the randomizer, but fell out of favor to the solo black belt as far as black belt centric strategies.
Zardia decides to grind the blue dragon. The blue dragon hits rather hard, getting 2 hits for 233 damage on the ninja, but doesn't have too much health. This is a very efficient place to get some extra levels.
Yeah, I think so, but it looks like Zar doesn't want to commit to that, and with that few heal potions, committing to a grind seems like a bad idea. Fuchsia running into the Chimeras and Chimeras, and the Chimeras are loaded with experience, but elects not to take that fight.
Zar has largely interchangeable physical damage dealers. He has Power Bonk, he has a defense sword, all of his black belts are both 22, his ninja, he has a mass mune. Pretty much, as long as he has a person that can cast defense and Power Bonk and doesn't die to a nuke, as long as somebody keeps getting through fights, it's all the same. Some comments in chat. Tara has been working on these female sprites, and she's spent the last week putting some polish on them. So chat is correct to say that Tara Lynn is the developer of those. She's been working with from a unpolished hack that did some things, but she's been sort of customizing them, finishing them, making them her own. A lot of the full set of sprites just weren't done. They were using old fallen sprites and a lot of other old sprites as well.
So while the streams were buffering, not much happened on the earth floor for Fuchsia. Ran into a pack of green Medusas. Nothing scary about that group. Now on to the Lich fight.
Opening up with Fire 3. Never respect Lich, people. Just don't do it. Don't respect this boss.
No, just Vanilla Lich is really the only boss that you have to respect. Other than that, just grind him into a fine powder and be done with it.
Speaking of Vanilla Lich, next round the goal is to take 4 white mages to kill Lich. It is a kill Lich 1 quest. And I have 2 aspirations for that round. One is I want to see a sub 30 seed. If things happen right, there might be a run that finishes in less than a half hour. I'm very excited for that. The other thing that I want to see is I want to see a Lich 1 with nuke. It can happen. It can be a thing, and I want to see it.
So very, very interesting. We had a couple of runs finish just over 30. And those runs involved finding Floater very early and then having early access to Fade. Where Fade lands in the white magic table is going to go a long way in determining how long that seed is actually going to take.
So sub 30 is the dream. We've seen things from an hour to, I want to say, an hour and 40 some odd minutes is the slowest first place finish I've seen in one of those seeds. It can be a bit of a trouble to start off with. You're guaranteed iron hammers because shops aren't shoveled. You're guaranteed iron hammers out of Corneria, and if you think that the idea of taking down wizards with iron hammers seems like a good plan, you are a braver man than I.
And Fuchsia's Thief goes down, so rough to lose a party member right before the Kraken fight. It's one of those situations where I think going into a more than 4 water fight, you might want to pop the white shirt, just because it's going to be hard to get through that without taking a ton of damage otherwise.
Are there only 2 palettes that characters can have? I notice all of the female characters in this seed are all they all have the blue and tannish palette, and then other characters are just red and white. And now that I think about it, that's all I ever see in all of the characters.
That's a good question. I don't know how the palette information is stored for the player characters. Oh, Meridian answering in chat. Thank you. Yep, only 2 palettes. Kraken 2 leading off with Fire 2. See how much damage this black belt does. 400, a reasonable punch. And the nuke, is that enough? Yes, that is enough.
Puts it down. We have squid tonight. Calamari is on the menu, boys. And steak is also on the menu up on Czar stream.
All right, there is the Twilight fan club. No trouble running away from that. 33 heal potions left, so that should be enough, barring an unfortunate Iron Goal encounter, or maybe the 4 purple worms. And we got some Bane strats. Tiamat doesn't like it.
Punches back, but only lands 100 and change on the big black belt.
So the black belt has 1 power bonk under her belt, so we'll see how that goes. White shirt.
Gets a crit, but it only does 300 damage.
White shirt already paying off, though. And we'll see. Mazmune gets 4 hits, but didn't see how much damage that did. And a nuke finishes him off. So just chaos to go with a lot of resources left. And I didn't see if the Black Mage has a fast charge. But
she does have one more fast charge left. If I'm Fuchsia, I'm pretty happy with what I'm rolling into chaos with at the moment.
Yeah, so somebody that can stack evade, and then a fast and a power gauntlet. This is a very, very nice setup. Ribbons as well. So as long as it's not, a very nasty chaos that just leads off with nuclear, this one should be in the books.
One hit for 99 damage onto the tank.
So nice to see that chaos only rolled 1 hit.
Uses a heal potion instead of using another charge of a white shirt.
I feel like the white shirt would have gone a longer way, but maybe even the heal staff would have been a better bet. Alright, first punch. Let's see how this shakes out. 546, and well, those buffs are really paying off now. Without the power gauntlet, this could have been a little rough.
This is looking like a good fight, and chaos goes down. Let's check the SRL for a time.
First place, 221.39. Good game to Fuchsia Fantasy. We'll see if we can get them on Discord.
Drop the GGs in chat for Fuchsia rather.
So they'll be, they'll be along in about 5 to 10 minutes, they said. So in the meantime, we'll see if we can get another runner posted up.
We get to see, if you haven't seen this yet, the newest version of the randomizer has some stats. We had 13,000 steps taken this seed, and we've got battles and ambushes. It's nice and interesting to be able to see what stats you have after a race.
I wonder how difficult it would be to track how many unrunnables you got, because that is something that I certainly would like to know. How lucky
and on Len the Cat stream, immediately afterwards, we have a Warmech sighting. Welcome, Len the Cat, to the main stage.
And bravo to Len. He's not shying away from this.
I love me some Warmech fights. Opens with nuke.
Well, there's one of them.
$334 damage. Warmech casting spells. The black belt goes to his knees, and Warmech eats another 400 damage. Does not go down.
So, all right, down goes Warmech, and Len is rewarded with 2 levels instantly.
Let's give some mad props to our restream for getting that fight in on time.
Yeah, good choice of runner there. Just happened to catch a very exciting moment. So Len getting quite the boost. Minochi finally finding the crown.
Thank you, Jay. Jake Hallen for restreaming this race.
Yeah, just real quick, thanks to the Randomania crew, J.K. Allen and Noristra, both for helping set this race up today. Much appreciated. And Czar exacting revenge on Kraken. And looks like we got a couple more forfeits in the race. Lord Fizzlebeef is out, and looks like Quicklet is out as well. So, with one person already finished, we've got, it looks like, let me count this up, we got 8 more people still racing, and all 8 people have yet to set foot in Temple of Fiends, so very, very impressive win by Fuchsia Fantasy on this seed.
Yeah, I don't see anyone in Topher.
So and now we have Czar entering. So second to make it in, and we'll see if the double black belt strategy pays off. Looks like the Gas Dragons rolled obnoxiously high HP.
Black belt carrying a mass immune finishes the second one off, and he never sees poison.
There's some bad men. Zardia manages to get away from them, though.
They're the worst. Find some more gas dragons.
So if you're gonna go to the grocery store, Trystal, my recommendation would be 99 heal potions, 10 soft potions, and 70 tents. I don't know, maybe a Lunchables or something too.
And you should probably get Edge a bottle, because he's gonna forget it.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you fill the bottle with something, though? Like, I don't know, maybe a bottle of whiskey or something instead?
Yeah, but it takes less time to buy 10 softs than it does to buy 2 softs.
That is true. It's like shopping at Costco.
With Trystal popping up in chat once again, it's time to remind everybody, on Tuesday, January 16th, we have our grand finals match between Trystal and Ice Blue at 6 o'clock Eastern Time.
Minochi with 1 HP beats Kraken. 2 back-to-back misses.
We need a Twitch clip. We need a Twitch clip. Chat, help us, chat. We need a Twitch clip.
Unreal. Just how you drew it up. And now we have Len popping into Temple of Fiends, and Len is known for going with the solo black belt strategy, so we'll see which one ends up paying off. Czar has even levels across his party, and Len definitely focused with his 3-man grind.
We'll see if they get the same encounters as they go through here. I can't tell if they're at the same spot in the encounter table.
Well, we'll see if Len gets gas dragons. Bad men here so far.
Zardia making quick short work. Worms find some gas dragons. I think that's quicker. resets out.
Probably for the best. We know that they have very high HP.
He might have found poison running through the waterfall the first time because it was not all that far into the table, especially if you didn't have warp.
Yep, makes it all the way through the rest of this floor without incident. And given how much people have full cleared, I doubt we're gonna see what's in any of the incentive chests. But maybe the folks finishing at the back of the pack will check just for the heck of it.
So Edge, I have some news for you.
Uh-oh.
The guy in the northern castle, northwest of Elfland. Do you know who that was?
No, I thought he was just a kindly old king.
That's what but apparently it was Astus the whole time.
You gotta be kidding me.
Yep, no, it's true story. All right, I need to watch a clip. If everyone should watch this clip for a moment.
All right. In the meantime, Files is also entered into Temple of Fiends. And he is going with the dead party member in the back slot, maximizing the chance that his Black Mage doesn't get hit. So very good party positioning overall. And the fact that he's made it into Temple of Fiends after wanting to hang it up is kind of a testament to his abilities as a runner.
Len looks to be just about ready to enter the earth floor, just as Zardia disrespects Lich. Never respect Lich, people. Never respect Lich.
Nope, zero respect given. And Minochi is gonna open up these crown chests and is gonna be very disappointed.
He's gonna have 3 houses. Come on.
There's not much, but it doesn't matter if you own 3 houses now when you're going 2,000 years in the past.
Don't you get like reverse investment with 3 houses?
Maybe that's how a reverse mortgage works? I don't know. I always see commercials for them, but I never really knew.
Do we have a quad X strat coming out against this carry?
Oh, I hope so.
Goes down too easy to the double black belt. Zardia maintains his 1 floor advantage as Lan is disrespecting Lich. Takes her down with a black shirt.
Meanwhile, Will has taken out Kraken 1, and Tara is about to take out a bunch of bones and our bones on the way to picking the slab up. Well, down goes the Black Mage, and now it's just the Bash Brothers for Minochi. It looks like we've got Fuchsia Fantasy in the waiting room, so we'll pull him in right now. GG to you, Fuchsia.
GG.
Thanks.
Showing off Tara's new sprites, mate, and bringing home a win. Can you give me your first thought about the seed?
Oh, well, it's almost a full clear, so I didn't expect to. I thought I was actually, either behind or, really close to the top, close to the pack.
No, you ran away with this. No one else was in Topher when you got done.
Oh, yeah, I just saw that. It was like, whoa.
Can you hold on one moment? We need to boost your audio a little bit.
Okay.
Or if you could just turn up your mic too, that'll work.
How do I do that?
In Discord, user settings, voice and video, and then there should be an output volume slider.
User settings. Damn it. Where is it?
It'll be the little gear icon at the bottom.
Okay. Voice and video. Okay, is that better?
Just bump it up a tad more, and I think you'll
Got
be
it.
good.
200%.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's better. I think anything else, and we can just ask the restreamer to bump you up as well. But in the meantime, Kraken just one-shot Len's black belt. So
Did not even bother to drop a final nuke.
no, gonna be very difficult to finish it out with 2 fiends left and no black belt. So interesting decision that you made to go after the zombie dragons. Did you plan that into your ordeals route, or did it just happen to be, hey, I have Mazmune and these guys seem squishy, I might as well go for it?
It was that, and I saw that they had poison touch, and they didn't have anything, at least as far as I knew, that was really scary ability-wise. So, yeah, I just went with it.
Yeah, there was one monster on that floor that was very dangerous that you managed to not encounter. Did you ever see what Red Goyles had?
What did they have? I know they had Aether, I think. Oh, and they might have had something else.
So their spell was Aether, but their skill was damage poison.
Oh yeah, now I remember, because I saw that in the volcano.
And we have our second Warmech kill. Swartzondo takes him out with a couple punches from a level 45 black belt.
Now I was only able to get to like 28 or so, or 29 with the zombie deed grind before I ran out of heal potions. But I learned from the last race and did an overroll grind at Mirage, steak and wings.
Yeah, and also noticed that you were able to get the T-Rex fight in on that as well.
Yeah, it was a whole string of fights. Steak and wings, Ankylo, steak and wings, Ankylo, steak and wings, red Ankylo, T-Rex, or something like that. And I just took them all in sequence.
Yeah, and that seemed to be, all total, that was a pretty efficient grind. The T-Rex is, the clear winner as far as the monsters for experience, but Tyro's no slouch either, and the Ankylos, if you can take them out fast enough, are good. I think the red Ankylos just don't give you very much for some strange reason.
They give okay experience if you can get a pack of 4 of them. And in this seed, they had pretty low HP, and they had Lit as their starting spell. So
yeah, that's true. They weren't nearly as imposing as they usually are. Not hitting you 3 times for 200 damage or 300.
I don't know if you've seen it, but you know what else has poison?
Gas dragons.
Vanilla gas dragons.
Yep.
Oh. Yeah, I think a big thing that got me a last advantage over other players is that, I see somebody's got warp. But I got warp pretty early, and I was using it I saw it in Gaia, and I knew I was about to class change. So I figured, where was Tail again? I think
it was in Volcano, and that was that was something that I was interested in, was your decision. Real quick, we have a dot done from Czar, who finishes in second place, 239.39. And you can see up there right now, there goes Chaos.
And I would like to note that Zardy's Black Wizard finished on 1 HP, and that is... he did have a Black Mage. That's the third time we've seen fights with 1 HP characters this season. It's kind of ridiculous.
But your decision to go to Volcano instead of... is interesting that you decided not to do C instead, and that paid off big because you were able to use Warp to skip walking out of the waterfall cave.
Oh yeah, I mean it was a no-brainer. I mean, well, I don't think it was necessarily a no-brainer, but Volcano has a lot of chests. It's quick to clear, and I had a grinded BB, so I had a reasonable chance of thinking I'd get through that. So it was just, just do what makes sense at the time. Plus, I didn't know where the bottle was. I think it was in Gaia.
Yeah, it was. We had lazy dwarves and lazy pirates this seed.
I see somebody's doing the Tyro grind.
Yeah, also having fast and at the end there seemed like that was beneficial. I know Chaos didn't have a lot of HP, but it looked like he had a lot of absorb.
Did he have a lot of absorb? I mean, I did like 2 power bonks.
Well, you did 2 power bonks and hit him for 16 hits for only 500. I mean, you buffed a lot, and it's a fair amount of absorb for the seed. Given the percentages.
But yeah, I found fast in Lafine level 8. I was just like, it has to be here. I was checking all over for it. Last place I checked.
Yep. Now Will finds the slab and delivers the middle finger salute to the camera. And we have another Wormek encounter, Tara Lynn, but she has the 42 black belt, so this and she's just gonna run. So we have one spared Wormek. GG to you, Czar, on the second place finish.
GG. Well played, Fuchsia Fantasy. That's a pretty handsome time there.
Yeah, thanks.
It was very difficult to get a lucky route this seed. One player who was mono did the Marsh Cave gamble early and got the slab, but that sent him into Sky, which was a bust. So everyone ended up nearly clearing most of the entire game. GG's are. What's your first thought?
Well, once I saw the time and I saw that more people started to forfeit, I knew something was going to be amiss. I just, went with the odds and figured it was going to be a high physical attacker, and the odds were that it was going to be Kraken. And indeed it was. So I wasn't comfortable fighting Kraken until I had either the defense sword or the white shirt. And that's why I turned around after digging Lower Shrine and actually went out.
Yeah, and it definitely paid off. Kraken 2 has been an absolute monster, and Kraken 1 gave a lot of people the business as well. So, very good decision on your part. Also noticed that even though you ran into some usual RNG, that you were able to recover it. I think you had your Thief as the only one alive in Ice Cave at one point.
Yeah, I got trolled like I do every run, and they tried to cut me off there. The only thing saving it there was the ribbon. And at that point, I knew I wanted to put the ribbon on the Thief, because not only did he have the mass mute at that point, but he also had the highest chance to run away. And I figured that was my best option. Yeah,
and it paid off big time. Able to get out of the ice cave, and I think also the move of the Zeus Gauntlet up a few slots also paid off big.
Yeah, that could have been a wipe there very easily. But I had planned for it. I always have to plan for the worst. That's why I over-prepare. And in this case, it was good I did, because at the end there, Chaos almost got me too.
Yeah, so I think finally the luck seemed to be pretty evenly distributed. I noticed a lot of the runners just had one point or another where they just ran into a wall, and so it looks like your preparation was the big difference.
It usually doesn't pay to go out of the way and grind and dig, but in this seed, like I said, I saw forfeits. I said defense sword or white shirt is going to be required, undoubtedly. I was hoping to find another ribbon. I never did, though.
So which ribbon did you find?
I found 2 ribbons. I found one, I believe, in Earth Cave, and then the other one was, I think it was it Incentive Ice?
Yes, ribbon was incentivized. Floater was in the 2 chests earlier.
Yep. So I think the third ribbon was in the star room, the second floor of the floating castle. So probably weren't going to find that, given that you were in go mode by that time.
Yeah, when I went into Sky, I realized that I had forgot to buy heal potions. And as you can see, I had to compensate with some heal strats there before Tiamat.
Yeah, it worked out pretty well. Good thing that you didn't run into Wormek, though. He had lead-off nuke programmed in.
Yeah, that would have been a wipe, undoubtedly. But heal helmet and the heal items and Bane sword got a lot of work this seed. They were very useful.
So you made an interesting decision to keep the heal helmet. Were you tempted to sell it in the early game?
This party, no, not at all. I knew that I was going to take a lot of use out of any heal items that I find. And the only reason I dropped the one I did is because my armor was really tight at that time, and I had to.
I noted that you got a lot of mileage out of it in the volcano when you were going through there.
I think any seed without white magic available, all the healing items instantly gain a ton of value.
I don't know. I think the heal helmet sells for quite a lot the moment you pick it up.
Yeah, I sold my first heal helmet.
Yeah, I feel like it's sort of the cost-benefit analysis of the time that I save having extra money in the Elfland area is that outweighed by the time that I save not burning heal potions thanks to the heal item. And there's an argument to be made either way, and I think one is the safer play and one is the riskier play. So I don't think either one is wrong, just depends on how conservative you are. And it looks like we have Len finishing in 3rd place. After getting wiped by Kraken 2, managed to sprint right back down Temple of Fiends very quickly and take out Chaos. So GG to him. We'll try to get him to stop by Discord in a bit.
I don't think I actually gained any points. I might have gained a couple in this stage event here, but there's not many Stage 1 events left, so I'm going to have to continue playing strong.
And now we have Swartzando finishing right behind Len with a time of 2:48.35. So we'll try to get both of them in here for some comments. GG to you, Swartzando.
GG. GG to anybody who went Marsh.
So, interesting thing about the Marsh play, though, is that it led a lot of people to full clear sky when that wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
Yet the player that went Marsh is not yet done. So tell me your first thought about the seed, other than GG to first Marsh.
I did a bad thing. I may have went for steak and wings.
Spores, I thought you were on Team Tyro. How could you do this?
Hey, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. I lost half an Agama grind, and so.
And we're joined by Len as well. GGDO.
Oh, thanks, man. Holy cow, that ending. Wow.
Yeah, Kraken 2 being a jerk as usual.
Yeah, I love my black belt all the way to 42. I never saw it.
42. I ran out of heals in my Agama grind. I barely made it to 32. And Carrie almost killed me. It was really close.
Yeah, I wasn't well prepared for that Agama grind, and so I ended up running out of potions at about 25, and Carrie ended up taking me out.
I had a close call at Carrie, but I wasn't wiped. I mean, it was close, but it was. I was able to sustain somehow.
Yeah, so I ended up doing the steak and wings combo to about 32, and then I went back for the Agamas to 42 because like my per minute experience was better on the Agamas because encounter 1 was probably 15 or 16 steps, and so in the time it took me to save and reset whatnot, it was actually faster to ground the Agamas.
So, did you ever make it all the way to the prime cuts of T-Rex?
No, encounter 1 was the Tyro Wyvern, so I just kept power cycling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, go on.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say the cycle was, I think, steak and wings, Ankylo, steak and wings, Ankylo, steak and wings, red Ankylo, T-Rex, or something like that. So I just went through the whole cycle. I don't know what the step count was exactly, but it worked out pretty well. I was doing a 3-man grind instead of just grinding a BB because I needed levels for my ninja and for my black mage to get warp and spell charges on the ninja. And I was pretty close to 32 on the black belt.
Yeah, Kraken 1 actually caught me by surprise. Kraken 1 hit like a beast.
Yeah, both of them are jerks, and we see Minochi falling to Kraken 2 right now, and he's going to hang it up.
Yeah, Kraken 2 is a big jerk.
Yeah, hits like a truck and has a nuke, so no thank you. Secret boss of this seed.
Yeah, my philosophy on Kraken is just kill him quickly.
The Warmech.
Yeah, you and Sforzando both punched Warmech out, so thank you for the show, both of you.
I was on stream at that time, so I said I had to fight him, and he almost killed me.
But yeah, I mean, the extra levels were probably nice to have too. I think you went straight to 38 from 36.
2 or 3 levels right off the bat. It was pretty nice.
I was just glad that I went Marsh before Earth in that hierarchy.
That was a fortuitous play for you.
Well, I just don't like clearing the Earth Cave, and with a 42 plus black belt, and I just felt like Marsh Cave would have just been easier to do. I even checked the lock chests. Unfortunately, they had nothing.
Where's Jack squatting Earth?
Wasn't White Shirt on Earth?
Yeah, I think it was.
Only item worth getting that I got there.
I did
And sorry, real quick, another forfeit. Files wiping to a group of vampires. So rough seed for a lot of folks. We have more forfeits than people finishing at this point. Tara Lynn is made it all the way to chaos, so we'll see. We'll see how her maxed out black belt works out.
That's level 48. I've got a lot of faith in this black belt.
Level 48.
That was mine.
Yeah, she took a couple of unfortunate wipes and decided she'd had enough and was going to finish the seed come hell or high water.
Bane Strat's also coming out.
I mean, you can split punch to smiling somewhere.
I love Bane Strats. They're fun.
And that'll do it. She finishes in 5th place with a time of 2:55.24. So we'll see if we can get her in here for some comments.
Good game.
So Fuchsia Fantasy, how did you finish so quick?
I don't think I finished very quickly. I mean, I thought, like I said, I thought I was behind, and that's why I was rushing through Sky Castle, rushed through FFR, didn't check any of the free chests. I just went for it because I already had everything I needed.
So the major difference between you and the other runners was your initial grind on the zombie dragons to 28, and then the steak and wings T-Rex combo to bulk up your party. And I think both of those, working the encounter table to get the T-Rex, I think paid off.
Well, I didn't really plan the T-Rex. I just decided to check what was the encounter cycle at Mirage beyond Steak and Wings, because the Ankylos give good XP, the Red Ankylos give okay XP, and like I said, I was grinding 3 people, so I had nuke charges to work with. And I'm surprised nobody else took the Zombie Ds, because you get the Mass Moon right at Ordeals. It's just like, it seems, or Zombie Ds didn't have anything especially terrible. Although I know now I know that the red gargoyles had something terrible, and that probably could have bit me in the butt because I didn't have a ribbon.
Yeah, the red gargoyles is what stopped me from doing anything greater on the zombie dragons. They had only like 160 hit points or something like that, which was nice, but the poison red gargoyles or something like that was not friendly. Some players ran out of heal potions right when they hit that spot as well. They had a difficult time getting to the incentive chest. Tarlin joins us. GG, Tara.
Thanks.
So seemed like it was a little rough, but the 42 grind paying off. Looking at the number of forfeits that we have in this race right now.
Yeah, with this party, it was pretty much go for broke, because even with the spell selection on the Black Mage and eventually the Ninja, that was going to run out if I leaned on it too hard. So I just decided to go for broke. I saw fires were pretty friendly on my first time into the volcanoes, so I decided to grind on those until the heal potions ran out and then go for Agamas.
Yeah, and that seemed like a pretty nice progression, just unfortunately running out of the heal potions. But seems like being able to finish was really more important with a sea that had a lot of cruel things in it.
Definitely. And oh my god, that slab in that marsh cave, that would have saved me a lot of time if I'd have checked that earlier.
I just don't think in any justifiable way was early marsh checking a good play. So, I mean, I think almost every runner had to have gone through that same sort of thought process.
Maybe, but it would have probably been better than Earth, at least. Everything's so scattered there.
I mean, it's only good if it's at Marsh. But odds are it's going to be in Earth. So
I had a pretty good Earth cave. I whizzed through there pretty quick.
Yeah, true.
Oh yeah, Earthcave was fast, but still having to rely on having to clear it is still annoying.
I had several really close calls where I probably should have wiped, but you know, some last second strats I think kind of pulled me through there.
We have one more player taking down Chaos. Ollie G finishing with a time of 2 hours, 59 minutes, and 43 seconds.
Wow, sliding in there with the sub 3 just barely.
All right, I'm going to take my leave of you all. Thank you, Randomania. Thank you, J.K. Allen. Thank you, FFR staff, runners, commentary, everybody. I look very forward to watching the restream of this one. And until the next race, I have work to do.
All right, GG Czar, thank you for stopping by.
GG's are.
So early on, who took an early lead?
So it was Czar and then Fuchsia Fantasy, although Minochi, I think, found the slab early, but then lost a lot of time full clearing Sky.
Sky? Ugh.
Did anybody get down to mermaids?
I did.
When I got the crown, I went Kraken side first. When I got the crown, I was like, do I take the crown bait? And so I did, and it ended up coming up with not much. But I was like, well, while I'm over here, I may as well go to Marsh.
Yeah, ended up with an extra ribbon out of the deal. I think it was in Opal Armor Chest.
Armor chest, and that was the only good the only good thing from mermaids.
With that group, I was willing to take all the ribbons I could get. If I'd have got all three, it'd been godlike, since I was planning from the start with the dead black belt strats. If I name a character Danny, that character's dead.
I revised my Danny.
For shirt rack purposes.
Yep.
I didn't even bother. Maybe if there would have been life access somehow.
Joining us is Ali Jerbob. GG, Ali.
Honestly, it went really bad. I think I died at least 4 times in FFR. It wasn't fun.
Yeah, I don't think it was fun for anybody.
Yeah,
2
Files.
for your BB.
Yeah, Files is saying on IRC that Show is the only winner of this race.
Clear it until you went to what's it called?
By that logic, Suns Out Guns Out won the entire tournament today.
Yeah, that's true.
Sucks
He blue
that
screened early.
Yeah, sucks that he's pretty much blue screened everything he's entered.
He is out of the tournament. Suns Out Guns Out, I'm sorry to see you go. You were one of my favorite dark horses for this tournament.
Well, I hope he manages to get his gear straightened out by the time the next tournament rolls around, or the next league. He'll have some time for that.
Will Bloodworth has 90 HP against this Tiamat. He is attempting to put it down. And a nuclear comes out for 91. There it goes.
No.
Oh no.
The final insult. Oh no.
And he goes back in. You go, Will Bloodworth.
He's
Thank
not
you.
giving up.
Up because he doesn't know that he's going to finish in last place other than the forfeits. If he knew that, I doubt he'd go back in.
Don't tell him, please.
I won't. from watching him try to finish.
Oh, by the way, where was Defense Sword? Because I don't think I ever found it.
It was in the second floor Mirage Tower.
Ah, there it was.
And third ribbon was in the star-shaped room. So anybody that found Slab and Marsh late probably didn't get either of those items. I think Czar was the only exception because he was digging for evasion items, given how many forfeits he saw.
What was the cause of most of those forfeits?
So
Kraken, I reckon.
yeah, either Kraken 1 or Kraken 2.
What had the Kraken one? I
Harry?
didn't see.
Kraken Carrie got a couple of people, but I think the people that died to Carrie kept going.
Yeah, once I saw I couldn't grind on Agamas early and I didn't feel like going back up to 2F Volcano for fires, I decided to just take a stab at her and see how nasty she could be.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. The spell list was easy, but the skill list was absolutely brutal.
Yeah, that was a situation where I was never planning to forfeit if I lost to her.
And I think she had high absorb.
That I did notice, and that's part of what influenced me to go to 42, because I just wanted her done.
I mean, I was kind of digging for evasion items like lightly because by the time I found Slab, I was like, well, I guess I could forget it. But I mean, I was sweating a little bit because that Kraken 1 took me out the first time. Hit the ninja for like 900. Hit the black belt for like 900 or something like that. And
I guess I got lucky. Kraken didn't get a chance to even hit.
At first try Brack strats are great.
Yeah, it's the last time I take Kraken 1 for granted because I had my black belt in the top slot.
Yeah, Kraken 1 can be just as nasty as Kraken 2 if you have your party in the wrong shape and he gets a jump.
With no healing, we really had to rely on the heal potions, and it felt like we were always running out. It was tough to keep them stocked.
I was in no danger of running out in TOFR at least.
For Chaos, I went in one guy with 115 hit points and my black belt with about 500.
Yeah, so interesting question for the folks here. How many of you sold the heal helmet that you got early?
I did.
I didn't sell it as early as I could have.
I didn't sell it.
I did end up selling one and dropping the other.
You can equip that on a ninja. I don't know if you promoted though.
Well, normally I would have put that second ribbon on the black mage, but something was telling me put it on the ninja.
And I would have put the second ribbon on the ninja.
Since I was basically using her as a physical pseudo tank, it would have helped if something would have threw something nasty elemental wise, like a poison or a thunder.
Yeah, that makes sense actually. I had ice armor, ice shield, or some combination thereof that gave me fire and ice protection. So I figured
that and with temper and fast, just so damn late and useless. It was pretty much to where the ninja could throw all the spells the black mage could in a pinch.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, black magic in general, aside from Nuke, just seemed kind of crappy this seed.
The only thing I would have missed out on would have been Warp.
I did,
Level 8, right? Because I didn't see it.
A warp was 7, and fast and temper were 8.
I learned fast. I knew fast was in Life Lithuania, whatever.
The Fiend.
Rob bought it, but like I never like I got charges by the time I was in 2FR. I was thinking if I should warp back, and I didn't.
Even Quad X was hidden behind class change at level 5.
Oh yeah, I forgot to pick that up.
I did grab it, but I ended up never really needing it.
But I bought it.
Figured I had to stop by there anyway.
Hana, so I could buy the last gold bracelet I needed.
I'm just hoping Sunday's game is a lot friendlier seed. I don't want to deal with 42 black belt stuff again. I got lucky this time, but it has just been so hard to grind one up in these flags.
So
A red mage.
Oh, go ahead, Len.
Oh, you know, if we just had a red mage or a white mage, this would have been a heck of a lot easier.
Did anyone even check white magic shops?
Zard checks
That's the
2 of
point.
them.
If
Yes,
you check the white magic.
Zar poked his head in a couple before I think realizing that there wasn't any point.
That's because like I misstepped, but I didn't even check the spells, so I wouldn't even know where was everything.
So since Tarlin brought it up, the next match is going to be this Sunday. It'll be on Speed Gaming 2. And it'll be the last chance stage 1 race. So be interesting to see if we have no black belts rolled for that one.
Please, no black belts.
I'll even take a black belt to Dan if I can get something like fighter, red mage, white mage around it. Anyway, I gotta take off and fix dinner, so GG to all of you, and good luck to all who's left.
Yeah,
GG Terlin.
Yeah, GG Tara. Good work on sticking in despite the adversity of this seed.
Yeah, I think the more adverse the seed is, the ones that people are completing in an hour and a half, I'm dropping out of, but these long slogs, this and the no mage at all group, I'm managing. Anyway, later, y'all.
All right, now we
Will
have Will back on Tiamat. And oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Will Bloodworth seems to be taking on Tiamat. He's gotten hit a couple times, but has gotten plenty of evade off. The Tiamat misses the ninja. Might get to chaos decently all right this time.
Yeah,
I'm
got-
sensing
Go ahead.
coming from Will Bloodworth at the end of this.
I hope he gives a colorful interview.
I'm waiting for that.
We all are. We all are. And he runs into the Group 8 Iron Goal. He's got to be deep. This is the second Group 8 in the encounter table.
And this is, this is just par for the course. Will's
You know
luck
that salt
strikes
you
again.
predicted? If you grind up an Iron Goal, I think you get some crystals. Turn that Iron Golem into a Rust Golem.
All right.
On chaos.
3 party members left for the chaos fight. See how this goes.
Is that Brackstrats?
Bane strats, here we go.
Nuclear comes out. Here we go. Come on, Will. Come on, Will. Snags a host in the process.
I'd love these Bane strats to work.
Nah, Bane Sword's on the master. He's out of charges. But he has 8 more charges of it on his Black Mage. Come on, Will. Give us what we want to see. He has too many nuke charges. This chaos is going down. And by too many nuke charges, well done. Keep everybody alive, and you can take this chaos down. Go, Will. Go, Will. One or two more rounds should do it. Especially if he gets to get max nuke. There he goes. GG, get your GGs out. We'll see if we can get him in for an interview here.
So while we, I think we're joined by Will right now.
I was muted. How's it going?
Going well. How are you holding up after this seed?
Oh my God. Man, I'm telling you. Like the game is trying to tell me to walk away from it, and I need to start listening to it. I've taken way too many lumps lately. That was pretty embarrassing.
Well, it seemed like everybody took a lot of lumps on this seed. Just more people forfeit than finished. So congrats on sticking it out.
Well, that's why I keep the IRC closed, so I don't know how badly I'm doing till the end. It's just, wow. I finished out of last place by over 15 minutes. That's, I guess I don't really have anything good to say. I don't want to, I don't want to be just Captain Negativity here, but it was just terrible.
So question. I didn't see the first majority of your race. Where did you first encounter some difficulty?
I don't know that I really. I guess if anywhere, probably C. I went with. I had a 3-person party. Obviously, I killed off one of the black belts, and my first venture down through C, I lost my black belt to I think it was an ambush of lobsters. There was just like maybe a pack of 6 or 7 of them, and they just nonstop railed on my black belt. So I was left with my black mage on the second to last floor. And I'm like, you know what? Let's do some scouting and let's just see if I can survive even one hit against Kraken. I found out that the crown was there, the opal bracelet was there, and the power, I think it was the power gauntlet. No, it was somewhere else. There was like a third item that was worth keeping. And I did make it to Kraken, but he hit me before I could even use my white shirt. So that was it. Probably lost about 8 minutes, 10 minutes there, something in that neighborhood.
How many times did you wipe in Temple of Fiends, Will?
Once on Tiamat. I lost my ninja before Lich. I think to rock gold or something. And I lost my black wizard just to a Kraken hit. And was able to get through Kraken with the black belt and then got to the Tiamat fight. And even through, I think it was 3 white shirt casts, he was still kind of hitting me. And then he ended up having nuclear and a couple of other spells. So it was a nice combination of physical and magic damage. Eventually I just died. There was no way for me to recover fast enough. So his evade or his high absorb / evade made it really tough to land anything decent on him. I think I charged my block glove 2 or 3 times as well. Still hitting for like 200. I had some really nasty RNG in this, but having to full clear the entire game before getting to Marsh, getting the slab there, definitely didn't help either. Because I full cleared sea, full cleared volcano, full cleared earth, ice, and ordeals before getting to Marsh.
Yeah, me too. I did everything before Marsh.
Well, your time does not represent that. Yeah, it also doesn't surprise me.
47. That's not a good time.
247 is a half hour better than 315.58. So you did some things a little bit better than I did for sure. Probably got a little bit luckier with RNG, but it was a tough seed for anybody.
Did you find steak and wings? A lot of the good times found steak and wings this seed.
On Team Tyro, I didn't kill any of them. I saw them. I saw a couple of them, but killed.
Steak and wings for me, though.
For me.
I ended up grinding. This is the interesting thing: is I ended up grinding on Peds, with just dual grinding with the Black Mage and the Black Belt to level 21, which didn't end up being a bad idea considering how rough the Agamas were. And
I did exactly the same thing, Will. I grinded 2 players to 21 on the Peds before I went to Volcano.
Yeah, it's literally what I did. Same strat. Where did we differ? Like, where did you not go that I went?
Same route as you. I did exactly what you described.
Huh. I don't know. I can't imagine, like, you and I are relatively close in execution. I can't imagine I was out-executed a half hour's worth of time. My menuing isn't quite that slow. So I don't know what went wrong.
Lucky in a couple of places. I got lucky against Carrie after my grind fell short. And I got through C with no problems, and my Earth was fast, and my Marsh was fast, and my Sky Castle was fast. All of those were fast.
Yeah, my Sky was pretty fast. I think I checked the first floor just greedy, looking for a 3rd ribbon, but after that I just went go mode. But I had full cleared Earth prior to going to C. So, like, I spent time there, spent time full clearing C with the exception of the crown chest. So then I went to, I think I went to Marsh after that, because I don't think there was anything left.
Went to Marsh, did you just grab the slab and leave, or did you, clear Marsh?
Oh, I just grabbed slab and left. By that point, I was like, okay, what could possibly be down here that would be worth getting? In addition to what I've got. I've got 2 ribbons, I've got Masa, I've got an opal bracelet. Like, what am I hoping to find? Like, a glitch that takes me to chaos? Like, that's the best thing I could find. Anything else is just a waste of time. So, did you end up full clearing it, or did you know about it?
No, I got the slab and got the heck out of Dodge.
Yeah. I had a little inclination to go to Marsh before leaving the area. Like, when I was in Elfline, I'm like, do I want to gamble Marsh just for the hell of it in this seed? And damned if it wouldn't have been a good idea to do that. The one time I don't go with my gut on a gamble and it ends up biting me in the ass. So the early Earth gamble was kind of nice. I got some good stuff there, just going Earth 1, but nothing really paid off for me.
So the interesting thing is that the early Marsh players did not finish the seed.
Oh, wow.
They, in fact, a lot of them were fairly far behind from full clearing Sky when it wasn't necessary.
Yeah, see that.
So the item placement on this was particularly devious for everybody involved.
Mm-hmm. I had it in my head that I was going to go to Volcano as early as possible, and I did, with the exception of having done the Pede grind. I didn't go anywhere else. I went right to Volcano after that level, and nothing in there was really super duper grindable. Like, it would have made more sense to grind Peds farther than to try and grind the fire, because the Peds weren't hitting that hard. I was right outside of town. It was the second fight in the cycle. You know, it's like, maybe I should have just grinded those until they started running away from me, and seeing how far that took me.
They start running away about level 21. I wanted to go higher than 21, and I quit there because they started running away. And so I just grinded the Agamas right afterwards, but I barely made it to 32, and I ran out of heal potions, and I fought Carrie at half strength and almost died.
Yeah, that's why I kind of noped out of the carry grind early-ish. I think I got to 25 or 26, if I'm not mistaken. And then I went to try the Red Dragon. I was like, oh, you hit for almost 200. You're supposed to. So that's not good. So let's get out of here. And said, okay, let's see if I can sneak by carry, and I managed it. Just a 2-person team, black belt age. Passer. I don't feel like I did anything categorically wrong this seed. I don't think I did anything that was a gigantic waste of time. It was just really, really, really bad RNG and really bad item placement, and having to full clear the game up to the point I got the slab. You know, had I had a little bit of earlier luck, you know, this maybe I could have taken first, maybe, or at least top 3. But you know, everything kind of conspired together to jam me down at the bottom of the pack again. And it's been a nasty trend that I've threatened to quit the game over a number of times.
You gotta stop being so negative, Will. You actually finished in the top half because most people forfeited.
Yeah, but that's I don't really count those people necessarily, because I still think if they came back and, you know, started from wherever they wiped, or, you know, if they had the opportunity to finish it out, that they probably could have finished close to where I was anyway. So I don't really necessarily count forfeit. Like somebody like Artea forfeits, it's usually because he's got a party that he can't beat the game with without grinding like 10 levels or 15 levels. Some people, when they don't take first or second place, they forfeit. Whatever you want to do, it's your SRL points time, but I don't really see the point in doing that. I don't know. I guess I'm always open to anybody who observes me playing the game, like letting me know what you do differently, or where you saw leaks in time. Like, I'm always receptive to. I don't know where the biggest ones were aside from that wipe in Sea Shrine and then the wipe on Tiamat. That right there can account for 15, 18 minutes.
Did you go to Pop?
No, there was no reason to. With Nuke, with a non-elemental. With a non-elemental.
I went up there with Nuke, yeah, and I got 3-4 levels after 2 fights and then left. It was real quick, and I think it helped me a lot.
Oh, nice. Yeah, there was really no impediment between the time I got the ship and the time I got to Crescent. It was like, I'm going to check Crescent, see what kind of a PED situation I've got. Absolute worst case scenario, if they're like buried in the encounter table, I can go to Pop, or I can check out the fires You buy a bunch of houses and grind fires to 21, then check the Agamas out. Like I had some contingency plans in place, but going there and checking the peds right away was always the original work. Nuke, there's no reason not to try killing peds. If I was only stuck with harm 4, then yeah, definitely going to give that a shot.
I wonder if you and I were the only ones that did the ped grind.
I don't know. It was a smart grind, considering like they weren't running away. There were two fights deep in the encounter table, had relatively decent HP, and they didn't hit like complete bastards. So it was entirely easy grind. I lost the black belt a few times to packs of 4 because they just kept hitting them. But
Packs of 4 are so juicy. You can't say no to a pack of 4.
hell no, I didn't say no. I let the black mage soak up all that XP after the fight when the black belt dropped. That happened, I think, 2 or 3 times. So for a long time, the black mage was ahead of the black belt in level by like 2 or 3. And I figured, okay, that'll make it easier for him to survive Temple of Fiends, getting the environmental fights and the unrunnables along the way between here and the end of the game. I'm sure I can get the black mage up to 25 to 28 somewhere, and the black belt, of course, over 32. So you did your grind to 32, and you didn't do any grinding after that on any other enemies?
I took a good number of fights along the way, specifically in the Sea Shrine and in the Sky Castle, just because I wanted to make sure my thief had spell charges. That was kind of my goal.
I literally did the same thing, like taking those big eye Gershark fights, taking the I took some fights. I think I took a Chimera fight. I'm trying to think what else. But yeah, I took some juicy ones in Sky, but I took some in a Sea Shrine as well, my second run through. So I cleared the mermaid side and then went down to Kraken side. I normally do it the other way around, but since I still had two items that I was looking for, I figured, well, what's the odds of them both being down by Kraken if they're both here? I can also pick up some extra stuff. And there was nothing on the mermaid floor. It was all gold. Garbage.
All right, so I think we're about ready to wrap things up here. Any other comments you guys want to add in before we cut the stream here?
Oh, the only thing I remember was like, I don't know if I was the only one seeing it, but like Lit 3 was like in a lot of I think it was the Medusa script. I could be wrong though.
Yeah, if it was on multiple enemies, it was probably Medusa script.
So the bones and also the Chimera.
It was on the R-Bones as well.
R-Bones.
It wasn't a fun time running into somebody. So when Edge, you can announce the final league race coming up here, race 10 of 10.
Yep. So just a reminder, Sunday the 14th at 1 Eastern, we have the final league match that'll be on Speed Gaming. But please, if you like the Final Fantasy Randomizer League, follow Randomania and the Randomania channels. And if you're just interested in randomizers in general, Zelda 1 will be back after this weekend. So there'll be a lot more action. Good time to put all of these in your Twitch follow list if you like the randomizer action. Edge, have you got anything else that you want to add before we wrap things up here?
Nope. Just quick mention, the tournament finals are next Tuesday, December 16th at 6 p.m.
January 16th?
January 16th, Tristal versus Ice Blue.
I want to wait a whole year to see that match. Looking forward to it.
All right.
GG, everybody.
Yeah, so GG to all the runners here. Glad you were able to stick it out and finish a pretty tough seed. and best of luck to you on the last chance race coming up.
Good night, everybody.
Yep. So on behalf of Randomania, thanks to Jake Allen for sticking with us and doing the restream and the tracking. I'm Edgeworth, and I'm here with Edge Figaro, who did the commentary. Please, if you liked what you saw, follow the runners, follow the commentators, and follow this channel. That's it for us. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you for watching.